If you've ever thought you had the perfect trade lined up and it goes completely wrong and you take a big fat L, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome to another edition of Live Trading. We have a super awesome show today. We have a special guest. Andy from Mighty Soldiers Trades is here, and we're going to talk about how he finds plays, trades plays, and all of that good stuff. So without further ado, roll that intro.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas law, that phrase.
Kiana.
Fisher.
Joy.
Joe. Cards drawn are the past, ones to come are future.
And the best part? It's beatable.
All right, we are back. Like I said, we are going to have an awesome show today. Let me bring on the guys, Zunaid and Mitch. How you doing this morning?
What is going on? What? Pumped on up, ready to get into some. We got something special for you guys today. We not only have a special guest, but we also got a special guest even after that special guest. So just smash the thumbs on up.
We're just loading up with special guests. Hopefully we can get those likes. Hopefully we can get those subscribes, and hopefully you all can make some money today. Let's go at it.
One of the things that if you guys haven't seen before, and if you guys are Twitter fans, you guys definitely need to go ahead and check out this profile. It's Mighty Soldiers, at Mighty Soldiers. If you guys haven't checked that on out, definitely go ahead. Ryan, you do the honors. Let's go. I'm ready. We can bring him on right from the hop.
All right, let's do it. You've probably seen him on Twitter. You've probably heard his EMA 65 strategy, which we're going to talk about today. And you've probably seen those awesome nature picks. So without further ado, Andy from Mighty Soldiers Trades, how you doing, my man?
Good morning, guys. What's going on? I'm happy to be here. Glad to be here.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I don't know. I always get a little bit nervous before every event, and I don't know why I tell you guys that, but it's because me and you are twinning out today, Ryan. That's why
I was going to say we got the right shirts on. Hopefully you're going to be able to show us some of this EMA 65 stuff today. What do you think?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out how to share my screen the way you guys can see this. Great. I might have to switch my camera to the virtual camera so you guys can see my screen, how I have it set up there. But either way, we will get it there, on there so you guys can see what I'm talking about and how these stocks speak to me.
Perfect. Yeah. So what we'll do here is we'll run through our watch list. We'll let Ryan, Zunaid go, and then you can start setting up, Andy, so you don't have to worry about it being done right now. So go ahead and try to figure that one out while we get into some stocks out there. Looks like Zunaid's up first, and then I'll go to Ryan, and then we'll just kind of continue down and get to Andy's strategy right before the bell. Let's do it.
Yeah, and Andy, by the way, if you look down, you'll see like mute, stop cam settings, share screen. And you can just hit that, and you can click on share a tab and your screen window, whatever you're comfortable sharing. Just make sure you know what you're sharing. And we can help you out if you need more. Just let us know. But let's go ahead and dive into the charts here. Going to keep it kind of simple here. Let's go ahead and take a look at Apple. If Apple wants to come on and try to test the 155, I would go ahead and try to scalp some puts here just for a quick little 50 cents or so, similar to how we were doing it at the 150 level. That's what I'm going to look on. Apple to the downside. We're going to see if the 153.50 holds as support. You can see here it was acting as resistance yesterday. We'll see how it behaves up there today. When it comes to the Qs, 300 puts, similar to what we did. We tried it. We got a few bucks out of it. Then we eventually got stopped out. We're going to see how the Qs behave around 305 because that may be another area of resistance. It looks like pre-market it tried to get over it, could not get over it. But ultimately, if the Qs want to come down to 300, I would load up on calls to go ahead and get us some scalps there. And then Tesla 750. We had a chance to scalp these puts yesterday 3 times in this area. I tried to break it, couldn't. 1, 2, 3. Couldn't get over 750. Now, after they report, it finally does. How is it going to behave there? I'm going to keep an eye on 750 as well in case it wants to come back down, and we can go ahead and grab some calls to scalp on that. But that's kind of pretty much all I have. Lord Ryan, you got your charts up, I see.
Sure do, sure do. So first one we're going to start with is one from yesterday and actually one from the past several days. This stock has been absolutely ripping. This is RYTM, which is Rhythm Pharmaceuticals. Let me move this out of the way here. If we back out to the daily, you can see that the past couple of days, just an absolute monster of a stock. So we're going to see if this actually continues. Looks like it got a little jiggy here in the pre-market, put a high of 1359, 1360 in there. So let's see what the volume looks like out of the open. If we look back to yesterday and we take a look at the volume, this volume was absolutely elevated from the days previous. And look at this stock. Look how much it ripped. So if we're going to be able to trade this here right out of the open, we're going to need to see some of that volume. I definitely want to keep my eye on this. Even if we don't trade it right away, keep it on the back burner. You see that even yesterday, what happened here is it made that high, it came back in a little bit, and then it curled up back towards that high on good volume near the close. So definitely want to keep this one on radar. This has moved around quite a bit. Hopefully we have a good opportunity here. Now, as far as some of the newer issues, let's take a look at them. I got to click on the right ones. ADXN. This is actually one that I believe we've traded before. There are a couple of tickers that are very similar to this that we've traded, and it's got a great little consolidation range. Just as we started talking, it actually just broke out of this. So what I'd like to see this do is either back test this 145 and use it as a support, or fall back into this range just in general before the market opens so that we can actually play that break of 145. 145, that first key level, 127 or 125, somewhere in that area, going to be your area of support if this does sell off. We'll see if it ends up doing that. One more, DTSS. I believe we've traded this one too. This one popping here in the open. Looks like we're leaking a little bit here, but this still pretty definitely going to be on deck here for today. I'm going to go ahead and just mark off some of these different highs here. Really needs to hold 220. I think as long as we do that, we're probably in business. Now, guess what, folks? It's a blast from the past. We're going to be playing Snake today. Here comes Nokia. It is had earnings this morning. It's popping, and it's putting in a high here. So we've got a high here of 509. Really what I'd like to see this do is hold 5. We'll see if it gets volume. Obviously, the earnings report is about last quarter, so that's backward looking. I don't think anyone's buying this because of the game Snake. So we'll see what happens when the market actually opens. We're going to need some volume in order to trade this one, but Nokia, a blast from the past. Now, I'm here. My last one here. Well, actually, you know what? I got two more. First one here, we're going to watch Saidu, right? Yesterday, we had a monster day on Saidu. Looks like this pre-market, we're starting to take off here again. This actually just happened. So it looks like if we can consolidate around this 459 area, if we break 459, 460, perhaps 475 after that, then maybe 5 after that. So we'll keep an eye on Saidu as well. Now, the last one that I have on my list, I'm going to end with. I think, Andy, you might talk about this. So I'm just going to go ahead and give it a real quick overview. Tblt. This is Tblt Industries. We had a huge day in this yesterday, put in a high of 518. We've tested that high twice already in the pre-market before coming down and back testing this 480 level. So we'll see where this ends up opening. I'd like to trade this through 5, and I would absolutely love if this took out the pre-market high, which is the same as yesterday's intraday high at 518. That's what I got for you.
Sweet. That was awesome. Appreciate that. Andy, did you want to share your screen, or did you have any stocks you wanted to talk about? We can pull up on our charts here as well.
Okay, so I did want to show you guys how my setup is with the 15-second, with the 65, as well as the 5-minute. I also am looking at the weekly and the daily. But the thing is I'm not able to share this screen and keep my camera up because it's a virtual camera that I have, and I don't have the tab to add another camera in the share button here. So.
Gotcha.
All right. I might do something to get you in there. Yeah, I have that ability. That's why I was trying to get you in there, so at least you could double share. Maybe
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mitch.
Yeah, maybe it's just you're a guest. Maybe I'll get you signed in another way here. But no worries. If you just want to take your camera off, that's okay too. I can just full screen it.
All right. While he does that, one thing to kind of when he's ready to go, just let me know, guys.
Yep, we got it.
But, kind of taking a look at the SPY as well. We talk about 300 being a level on the Qs, and then up there we go. I think we are ready. So I'm going to give it to Andy here if we want to go full screen on Andy.
All right, guys. So basically what you're seeing here, let me pull this down for the moment. Anyways, what you're seeing here is obviously my Benzinga Pro platform, but then I got my 15-second chart on the left, and I got my my 5-minute chart on the right. Last night when I was checking out the spies at the close, we had the algo selling hard. I was checking flow trade for that, the 15-minute as well as the 1 minute, but the 1 minute really started to sell hard in the close. The smart money, what have you, behind the scenes. And to start my morning for any type of penny movers, I just start clicking my my top list here just to see what's going on. So I see this thing, it's traded up, it's just kind of flat, it's not moving at all. I'm guessing this is not really going to move. Maybe a buyout, maybe something like that where we already have a price set, and it's so I just click and move on from there really quick. I see ADXN. We have some action over there. So I want to see the volume, 10.2 million traded, up 62%. First thing I'm thinking is, can we get 100% ripper? I'm sure you guys agree that anytime we get 100% ripper, that's a good day. Get your popcorn, right?
Amen to that.
100% rippers work, man. No problem.
100% rippers are good, but 2,300% rippers. What was SPI? I can't remember what the percentage was, but somewhere around there on that one. That was amazing. That was a beautiful day. We need another one of those days. And then something that I've been looking at for a really long time. I started this on the wrong side, made some money in TBLT, and then I fought TBLT, and TBLT won. There was one particular day when I closed out, I believe, a $6,000 loser. So TBLT had wounded me, and I fought back, and I'm going to win, and I'm winning. So anyways, this is popping up. This is moving 7.5 million traded, 18%. It's been moving for the last couple days. I can go ahead and change my time frame so you guys can see this just a little bit better. The daily, it looks horrible when I really bring this down. Anybody who bought at, I believe, $5.50 would have to get back up to about 200. Actually, I don't even think that's the case. Let me go out to the monthly, guys. Wow. Yeah. So in order to break even from your initial buy at $5.50, you'd have to get up to $8,300 on the stock. So anyways, and the reason that is because TBLT has issued more shares, offerings, reverse split after reverse split. And every time it has a reverse split, the market's smart enough to know that they need more money and that they're going to be issuing another offering whenever they can, right? So I'm keeping an eye on this, though, because the pain has been severe for a lot of people. And, somebody's got to buy up their shorts. They say a short squeeze this morning. They're saying this could be a squeeze, and I'm just not buying it.
How would you trade that then? So if it's not going to be a short squeeze, what are you looking for? What's your entry trigger?
Well, as far as it moving today, I think it can definitely move. We're looking like this could easily break. I would just put a price alert in here and see if this thing does well. Either that, guys. I don't necessarily trade. I don't usually trade resistance breaks. Yeah. I look for more of a pullback, bring it into my body. It's like the football thing. I say it all the time. Whenever I know this because when I was a kid, my neighbor's dad taught me how to catch a football, and when he did this, I just stuck my hands out there, and I didn't listen to him, and it nearly snapped my pinky. So anyway, I learned that you bring the ball into your body and you rotate with it. And anyway, so that's what I want to do with my trades. I don't just want to grab the resistance break because I don't want to get my fingers snapped off. So instead, I let it come to me, and then I'm looking to take partial profit at a predictable area of resistance, which is at the highs. And then from there, I can let the rest run and let it do the work for me without any stress,
Yep. Absolutely. And, I do that too. I will trade those resistance breaks, but on some stocks, you realize that it's just not the play, right? You want to wait until that football comes to you and add on some of those pullbacks. So it's tough to figure it out. We'll watch and see what happens once they open. We'll see how the stocks actually perform.
Right. So basically that's about it for what I'm looking at right now. But that's what I do every morning, guys. I can pull it over here so you can see what I'm talking about. But this is my top percentage gainers list over in TradeStation, and it's just so easy. I can click each one, and I can do it so quickly. I don't have to do a lot of prep work before I get into this because I'm trading price anyways. Mm-hmm. There was a trader that I respect recently, and here if you guys, I'm gonna pull up my camera again if that's all right.
Yep, all good. We got a screen to bring on here.
Yeah. Let me know. Did you want me to go over, or is he coming back on camera? Or?
Yeah, he's coming.
Yeah,
I think he just needs to flip it.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, go over.
Yeah, SPY 400, and that's the main thing, right? Q's 300 is what we talked about. SPY 400 is the similar story here. Let's see if we actually get a little tap to it or not. But I've already got the alert set there in case we want to go ahead and touch that area. Then if we do, I absolutely am going to look to go ahead and get some puts on that side of things.
So on that SPY, guys,
Yeah.
what I'm looking for is just about what we have right now. We're pulling back. It's going to come to me, and then I'm looking to possibly grab some calls on it. That's what I'm. If we continue to break support and all that, obviously puts would be in order. But when the algos sell off like that the night before, and we get this sort of action, it can go either way. And that's why when we look at these trades, I always want to look at both directions. I always want to think, what I'm going to do in either case. But yeah, I'm looking for the same thing in Tesla and in SPY, and just see where we can find a nice little temporary level of support and go from there.
Yeah, Tesla should be wild today with the earnings. Sorry, Zunaid.
No, you're good. I may have missed it. What was your level on SPY that you were keeping an eye on to either direction?
As far as the levels, I pick them as I'm watching it, man. But we're right about there right now. Yeah. I would expect possibly a little bit of a dump, a little more of a dump, but I'm going to see if we can hold this 393.84 before anything, because if we drop below 393.84, this could get bearish pretty quick.
I got you. So you like to kind of keep an eye on the levels based on the price action once the open actually happens. I like it. I respect it. Ryan, did you have any other stocks, or Mitch, did you have anything you wanted to go over?
I covered mine.
Yeah, I can take a look at some stocks. Just give me 1 second to share a screen.
You're good.
Here.
While you share yours, yeah, I agree with you though, Ryan. Tesla should be a wild one. We've got levels here set. Similar to Andy, I'm going to go ahead and wait though and see what type of action we get besides the 750. But it looks like Mitch has his stuff ready to go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's take a look. Discount stores is one area that I've been pointing to in the last 2 weeks, and it's been nicely holding here. It held the pullback, now continuing to push. Stocks like Walmart getting into that gap zone, almost above that gap zone there. You guys remember I took a trade here, ended up getting stopped out on that down day on Wednesday. But hey, if you're able to hang through, Walmart almost through that shadow zone, now up there towards the 131s. So definitely it's showing that strength, right? Costco, we were looking for a move above 500. This is now holding sideways above the 520s. That's what I'd be looking for pullbacks today, but it could take out 530 on the upside. Now, one that I'm starting to see get off the ground is Target. And so Target's getting off the ground after, just being sideways for some time. Walmart, of course, leading Target. And so kind of continue to watch that. If that can continue pushing, maybe you see it catch. Dollar Tree has caught some strength here. It's held towards the highs there. And what are you going to see also is I think you'll see DG follow suit today. It's been kind of retracing with this Dollar Tree move up. Now I think you're going to see a flip there. You might see a retrace in Dollar Tree, and then Dollar General catch some bid. BJ is another one that we've been looking at. Those are all strong. I'll continue to watch discount stores. Let's go towards, of course, different earning stocks today, but CCL did put out that kind of announced that $1 billion offering at $9.95 cents per share. So you're going to see these cruise lines probably take a dip back down. Of course, we got earnings from American Airlines, UAL. They weren't necessarily the best, but they weren't the worst. I think you might see some retrace out the gates here, and maybe some sideways action could be followed by some ramp back up, as they've been actually being able to do pretty decent in this environment. We'll see what happens there. Ford putting out some news that they secured 100% of their battery supplies needed for deliver electric vehicles at the rate of 600,000 per year by the end of 2023. They also talked about slashing 8,000 jobs and more gas-powered vehicles. Trying to focus more on EV. I think this has made a great run up in the last couple of days. Going to watch it, of course, with Tesla. If Tesla can keep running, I think Ford keeps running. And if those two are running, I'm going to be actually looking to play something like Fisker. I think could get a nice little lift above $10 today, maybe getting towards that 1050 area. So not a bad attempt. We'll see what happens there. That'd be like a 5% move. We'll see if it can get on up there. All right.
Hey, Mitch, how easy would it be for you to pull up Netflix and slap a 65 EMA on the daily?
I can always do that. That's not hard at all.
Good luck, everyone.
Do you do simple or EMA?
EMA.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, here we are. Market open. Good luck.
Look, exponential and 65. Boom. Let's change it up. I'll change mine up Now the yellow line for me is going to be that 65 EMA.
And as you can see on the daily there, this is why I love the 65 EMA. It doesn't mean we're going to have that as support and resistance all the time, but it is potential support and resistance in the temporary sense. So I expect a temporary rejection on multiple different time frames with this, and it's beautiful because I can grab some puts really quick, get out really fast, have money in my pocket. That's what I'm telling you guys. I just took profit because I'm just looking for these predictable areas of rejection and getting in and out.
I'm gonna go long here on TBLT. Long around, what is this? 505. My stop loss is gonna be below around 485 break.
Man,
if you guys have other stocks, let me know. I can pull them up here.
I'm wondering if I take some profit in Tilray. I'm up significantly now, guys. I'm gonna hold on right now. I think we'll still get some pullback in cannabis today, but I think by the end of the day, it might get a nice little push. So I'm gonna hang on right now in Tilray.
I'm gonna sell some here on TBLT, 518s, out some 518s, half.
That was a nice quick trade. I couldn't even get into that.
Yeah, I had a stop limit on the 505 area.
Look, nice sell job too. As soon as you did that, it came in.
And let's talk about why I went ahead and did that, right? You can see here on pre-market, you can see it tried to hit 520s a bunch of times. 1, 2, 3. And of course, I just went in and took it a couple of pennies below that, just in case it couldn't make it to 520s, but it did. So, but now that's the area to kind of keep an eye on, is the 520s as well. And there's a pop. There is some more.
There it is, right through
some
that.
528s. Out some more at 528. Only have about 15% left.
Nice trade on that.
Thank you. Now the next level I'm going to have is going to be about 40 here. Let me tell you exactly as soon as I place it. 47 is where I've got my next one. Just a couple of pennies below that 550. And by the way, you can also see, if you go ahead and look left to yesterday, right, you can see 520s, even yesterday was an issue for it to get over it. So that's exactly how you can see the levels work out to know where your sells should be, where you can expect a little bit of resistance, pullbacks, all that other good stuff. Now let's see if the 520 acts as support or not. Still have about 15% left, though. Let me know if
nice
you guys
trade
have
out the gate there, Zunaid.
Appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys have other tickers, let me know. I'll just put up the usual suspects here for now.
Healthcare and financial services leading right now. Technology behind that. What's deep into the red is communication services. And energy down big also.
I've also got buy orders at 505. So if this ticker for some reason wicks on down to around the 505 area, I will go ahead and buy some more shares. And what do you know? If you look at the 1 minute chart here, you can see 520 is where the resistance was. Now go ahead and look at this third 1 minute candle right here. Can't perfectly position it, but that also went ahead and held support at 520 as well. Support turns to resistance into support, not 100%, but you can see it working out for us here today.
Tesla, big pop out of the high right to yesterday's after hours high and then pulled back here. So it actually broke it by just a little bit. Yesterday's high in the after hours 778.03. We went to 778.90. So Tesla trying to pop above that here. Pull back a little bit.
Here we
So
go.
TBLT is currently ripping up here, 544. Great trade on that one, Zunaid.
Thank you.
Now, usually whenever I trade the SPY, guys, I'm always going to be looking at the Qs at the same time. This morning, I decided to mess around and get myself into a pinch, literally a pinch. I got the 200 as support on the 5 minute. I got the 65 as a rejection point here on the 15 second. So I got myself into a pinch and I was not looking at the Qs, but I'm holding out for a second. If we break this support about 393.83-ish, 80, then I'm probably just going to hop out really quick.
All right, I've got the Qs and the SPY up for you. By the way, I am all out of TBLT as we hit 550. I am out of everything, 505 to 550, scaling out in the 20s and also the 40s. But there are the Qs. Trying to see what it's going to do around the previous close. I'm currently below it.
All right, guys, and I am out. I took a loss on that one. I see the algos are selling off big time on both the Qs and the SPY. And we broke that level I told you about earlier that I was looking for potential support on that 200 on the 5 minute. So I'm getting out of there. I'm going to wait it out and see what, how this plays out. We can possibly get some temporary support. What's that?
I should show you that right there, the break of the 200 there.
Right, and I think we could possibly get some temporary support down here at 392.48 if we make it there.
One I'm looking at is X here for VWAP bounce trade. I'm taking a little bit of a shot here, but it needs to stay really close. Just got in there at the 83s. Going to risk there towards the 71 there. So 71 will be the risk here. Let's see if we can get this to bounce back up towards the 2020. Saw NUE green out the gates there. That kind of got me a little bit on this, but yeah, the Q's watching there. So be careful with tech, maybe on the downside. We'll see if this can get bouncing back into the 20.
Tesla wild out there. Would love to hear how our Tesla traders are doing. That thing is all over the map here. Went to a high of 779.90, so just about 780. Big time pullback here on Tesla. Wild action right out of the gate. There should be more of this. Still watching TBLT here. What I'd actually really like on TBLT is a pullback towards this 518 level. Now, if we don't do that and we carve out a new range here, I want to see it consolidate in that range before breaking that 550 high. Range break there would have been another opportunity, but we'll see. We'll see if that ends up working here. Tesla looks like it might be bouncing after that pullback here now.
In the most immediate sense, TBLT is very precarious above this 540 level. It was pretty much just an upper. We're precarious next to the upper shadow on the 5 minute here, and we got a bit of a cliffhanger. And I would say that there's a good chance we're going to go and retest a rising level at about 516 if we don't go break the highs.
Here we go. Going back up towards those highs here in TBLT. See 550 break. Might be able to scalp that break too. We'll see if it pulls.
Yeah, it's the second time I was trying to crack that.
It's right up there. There's some size there, but not very much. It's hitting it.
The SPY went down just above that 392.48 level I was telling you guys about. And whenever we're looking at potential support and resistance, it's like a plus or minus, you know, like let's say we're in a penny stock, like plus 16 on the high side, you know, minus 8 cents on the low side. It's not hitting these things exactly. We want to keep in mind that there's a buffer.
I scalped that break on 550 real quick. Didn't get much on it though. Have to go fast. Watching Tesla here. I think Tesla might take out the 780.
So what you're saying, Ryan, is you're the reason it came back in.
Yeah, definitely.
Pretty much.
You hit it right on the head. I'm the reason it sold off after it printed that new high. Sorry about that, folks.
All right, I will see if X can get into the 20 zone now. It's starting to push there. Let's get it. You know what I always like to say, guys, is
I'm gonna go short the Qs here. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the 303 puts as it comes back to test VWAP. I'm put it up on the 1 minute here. I'm gonna look to just go ahead and scalp this though. I got filled at 265. I'm gonna see if I can take some out at 274s. Let me change the quantity there, and then maybe 284s as well on the Qs. If it goes ahead and breaks above 303.50 though, I will be out.
Can you pull up the SPY on the 60?
I got you. So I got the SPY right here for you, and let's go ahead and do the hour. Oh, does that work for you?
Fine here.
And then you like the 65, right?
I really on this chart, I don't need to have anything, but the problem is I think you probably have pre-market on that chart, right?
Yeah, dude. Let me see if I can remember how to remove.
We have an amazing, beautiful, big bull flag potential here on the SPY 60s.
Tesla through 780 now.
All right, Qs are up here. I'm going to go ahead and take a loss. I'll tell you real quick how much well, actually hasn't cracked just yet. Wait.
SPY trying to get back above VWAP. We'll see if it can get above there.
My problem with the SPY and the Qs is the algos are still looking really ugly right now.
I agree.
Scalp the Tesla to the break to the upside. Again, not very much, but it's something. Tesla keeps going now here. So Tesla all over the map here. And I chose to use contracts I chose to use stock instead of contracts because the contracts are super expensive and they swing even more wildly than the stock does.
Still hanging on in these puts here. If it goes ahead and breaks this area of 303.58, I will be out. 303.58 is the last line in the sand for me on the Q puts. Bought some more here.
Jay Rice, Tesla, very strong. Jay, I'd love to know if you're
Come on,
still
don't go
trading it
over
or
it.
if you're still in it.
Don't go over it. Don't go over it. Don't go over it.
Don't you hate those moments? It's like,
Right? It's like literally right there. I'm like, don't do it. Don't be suspicious.
I try to
Don't
wish it
be
into existence
suspicious.
sometimes, but it never seems to go well for me.
you can wish it into existence, Ryan, if you don't have a position. But if you touch it, that's
Exactly
when it's never going to go in your favor.
Exactly
go.
right.
A little bit of breathing room, but it might
Isn't
just
that
come back
the way
and
it
whipsaw.
goes?
And right back up. Come on.
All right, let's take a look at some major components. How are those trading right now? Apple is green, Microsoft red. Of course, they had news. Tesla still up 5%. We'll see if it can hold the green today. And if there's anything that's kind of leading my eyes, Chevron down 2% there. Let's see if
So I went
X
ahead
can
and took
finally
some-
get above VWAP. You good, huh?
I went ahead and took some profit on this 65 bounce here. Really quick on TBLT. I'm probably not patient enough to wait this out, but I've seen time and time again, we'll get a little bounce on the 65. If you guys want I can switch up my camera again. I did not, or unless you want me to log back in and see if I can do it the other way.
Yeah, if Mitch, if you want to help out with that, but I'm out here on my Q puts 232. Took a loss on it. I got in at 265. I'm out at 232s.
I'm watching Olma here, OLMA, just printed a high of the day. Pull back here to VWAP, was unable to hold it. No position here. Would actually like to see this cross through VWAP on high volume and then also make a run at that high a day here. So currently going through a pullback on Olma. No position, no trade yet, but we're still watching that.
Gonna try to scalp the top here on the Qs. By the way, is Neil in the chat? I don't know. Yesterday during what was it? Yesterday boot camp. he talked about how my trades are a little too fast. And I was like, I agree with you, my man. I agree with you. They are.
Neil?
No. It was a viewer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that can happen. That's actually why sometimes if I'm trying to scalp a range break and I don't have the setup explained, I won't even mention it, because the last thing that I want to do is mention it just as it's starting to come back in and then end up getting somebody hurt. So that's just how it goes sometimes with those fast trades. That's actually one of the other reasons why I really want to get back to an environment where we can successfully swing trade, because we can spend a lot of time on process and it doesn't matter the second by second tick necessarily.
All right, looking for this to take out the 20s and continue going. I'll show you guys that chart. That's X. We'll see if it's going to give it to me. If it does pull back, I'll break even stop because we're still earlier in the day. I'm looking for this to push here back through the 2021. Let's see if it happens. If not, so be it. I could stop out, break even. That's going to be, I'll stop out with a small loss. I would stop. I'll stop right like 81s and 80s. So let's see if it takes out the 20 here though.
So I took some more profit on that 65 bounce. I can't wait to get this up so I can show you guys what I'm looking at for this 65 and the 15 second as well as the 5 minute. And I would really like Zunaid to be able to see this the 60s without the pre-market on the SPY right now.
If anyone knows how I can do that here on good old TradingView, let me know, because I have no problem doing that.
I could do that if I want to get out of my X trade on my platform, but we'll get Andy in correctly. Andy, if you want, just back out of here and go ahead and come in. I'm sure Alyssa will help out with a little trick there. Get you all in.
I've got it. I'm in and I'm logging out here. I'll see you guys in a second.
All right,
sounds good, pal. Awesome. Excited to see his EMAs. You see the Qs coming down. Oh snap!
Everyone wanted to see. Where's Alyssa?
There we go.
Alyssa's a celebrity.
She is a celeb.
You got, first off, so you got TBLT. I'm excited to see his 65 strategy there, because there's definitely something I can learn from that. And you've got the TBLT trying to break the 550 once again. The Qs are below VWAP. I've got one put here from the 304 area. This is why it's top, but I am a little afraid to get some more puts here. But I just might pull the trigger. I don't know. Let's see.
Blue Apron looks like this might try to go through 350 here. That's APRN. I'll pull it up on my screen. Sorry.
And there goes the Qs.
Yeah, I'm not liking that. keep battling towards the downside, not battling towards the upside. And so to me, I think we might get a pullback here. Take half off, so it's a quarter of the position there of X. They're at 91s. Just took a little bit more, so I only got a quarter of the position left there. We'll see what happens there. Look, Andy's back, baby.
Okay, so basically, if you're looking left, this is my 15-second chart. Can you guys hear me? Are we good?
Oh yeah, we good.
Hold on.
And this golden line with the golden crosses here, it's beautiful. This is the 65 EMA. This is valuable on multiple time frames. When I'm looking for intraday momentum, especially in penny plays, I found this incredibly valuable. How I did this was I came to the charts one day. I don't know why I started messing with a 15-second chart anyways, but I said, what best fits this price? What's holding as support when we're bullish? What's holding as resistance when we're bearish? And I kept on messing with different moving averages until finally this fit. And I was like, wow, this is blowing my mind, guys.
So you're hello there. You're just trying to get in. So for example, obviously since we're in a bullish trend, since it's above it, as it comes to the 65, you're looking to buy, and if it cuts below it, you're out. Do I have that correct?
Yeah, let me zoom out a little bit on this so you can see that.
Let's see, right now it's touching the 65, it seems.
Right, as you see, we're bullish all the way from when this move began. We pulled back, and I always say we will meet again. So when you're up here and you're thinking, oh, this is a bull flag, we're going to the highs. Remember, we will meet again. This is always going to. It's a relationship that they love each other. Anyway, I don't know. They really love each other.
I like that saying. We will.
But then we get down here. This is the no-go zone. This is red. Or if you're going short up here where we are in the black, this is the no-go zone. But if we want to be going long, we want to be bullish above the 65, and we want to be short. We want to be holding this line as a rejection point. And let me pull up the SPY. Maybe I can show you exactly what we're talking about with that. As you see, we're sort of holding that 65 as resistance. We're just now getting a little asymmetrical on this place. So I got to wait for the SPY to make a decision. The algos are really not looking good right now. So I don't want to go messing around with that. But I wanted to show you these 60s, Zunaid. This is what I'm talking about. No pre-market. We had this incredible drop off, and then here we go all day yesterday. Just gorgeous price action. But then you see we got the support level here for this consolidation up here with this real body. I would call this real body, resistance. So I'm looking for it to hold here. That's what I'm looking for this play to do. But the algos are telling me a different story for the moment, for the time being. So I got to wait to see if there's some sort of turnaround there before I start touching it. But it would be iffy to go short or long at this point.
And it's a simple, or is it exponential? The 65.
Oh, the 65 is EMA. I put the 65 EMA on my 5-minute, on my daily, weekly, 15-second. And if you guys don't have 15-second charts, they have them available at TradeStation. I love TradeStation. I can't say enough good about TradeStation.
I'm gonna check it out right now.
I'd love to hear the story about how you even found the 15-second chart. I haven't even thought to look at something like that. By the way, Apron bust through 350 on that range break. I'm all out here, Apron. Nice little scalp there. By the way, PayPal is having a rumor right now that they're talking with Ackman.
Fisker.
So PayPal is popping here.
You said they're talking to who?
Bill Ackman.
Ooh, hello.
PayPal continues to push new highs here. Not in this, by the way. Did not take this trade today. Didn't carry it. Don't have it. Not in PayPal.
All right, look, you've got the Qs trying for the third time to pop over the 304. What is it gonna do?
Right now, we got the Qs, like I was saying, we just popped above that 65. And a lot of times, I see stocks as they like to shake the longs or shake the shorts. If we're moving in a particular direction, we want to shake the fleas first before we get moving. So it'll pop above that, and then it will pull below it. Pop above it, pull below it. Doing exactly what it's doing right now before it makes up its mind as to what's going to happen. But I strongly believe that stocks are good at shaking the fleas.
They don't need flea protection. They don't need the canine advantage.
See, now you got me thinking for my dogs and I got all that stuff. And I'm not sure it works because back in the day, my dogs had fleas and I bought this stuff and it didn't really do much there. So I'm wondering, does it really even work?
Dogs without fleas.
We just had a higher low on the algos for the Qs for long for support.
Just scalp to PayPal. All right. This is a good morning. They've been little, but we've been hitting them. We've been tactical. PayPal is super strong here. One of the things I'd like to look at PayPal, I actually would like to swing this. Let me take a look at the daily chart here. Maybe the bottom is finally in. Maybe this Ackman news is the bottom. We'll see. I'll wait for things to settle here. I don't want to buy this huge green.
Hey, don't forget what happened with it. Wasn't it Netflix that homeboy went after?
I think so, yeah.
Zunaid,
What?
we gotta stop calling people homeboys.
Hey, man, look.
We gotta stop, man. Do you know where that term comes from?
Like a homie? What?
No, that's
Is
not
it
where it comes
derogatory?
from, man. That's not where it comes from. I think you need to do some research on that one.
Here, let's see if I'm about to get canceled or not.
Let's see if I'm about to get canceled, he says.
Well,
We're
you're
not
seeing
gonna
if you're
cancel
going to be
Zunaid.
canceled here, dude. Check
Hey,
out
Young.
Tilray. We have some potential news with legalizing Schumer's bill going through somewhere. Anyways, they're trying for something.
All of the pot names have been moving. All of the pot names have been moving, Andy.
TBLT above 550 now hit at 560s.
Talking about letting it come into me, bringing it into my body, your body, like football, catching the football thing. Right now seems like a very predictable area for us to find some temporary support. But the problem is, when you look left, you see that we are holding that 65 as it just looks beautiful. I mean, look at that rejection there. This is what I see every single day. Then we go and tap that again. If we can't make it above it, it's just further pain for the longs.
Yep. X still holding there. I'm still in that. Still got a little bit left there. Actually, on the last dip, I think it got me.
Tilray looks like it's curling here.
Yeah, I got out on that dip there. Yeah, I'm out. I got out on that dip, that last dip on X. I like it now, but hey, that's how it goes.
See, I kind of like to walk on the wild side a bit, so I think I'm just going to go for it, man.
Tilray long.
Yeah, I'm Tilray long right now. It's the most ridiculous trade, just like my SPY trade earlier. So you might see me stop out, but I'm on here, and I don't mind playing in the freeway every once in a while, guys.
There we go.
So that's what we're doing.
Welcome to the dark side. Yeah.
In my stream, that's something I used to do. I would just be like, guys, watch this play. I'm going to buy it right now. And if it's some garbage penny play that there's no volume in, the moment I would touch it, some stronger, bigger entity would slam that thing. And it was kind of fun because I would say, look, watch this right now. The moment I would touch it, it would slam.
That's why I thought that only happened to me, but that's good to know.
No, that's my pastime, Ryan. I just had a lot of fun showing people what really happens and how we need to make sure that we have strength behind it.
Added Fisker, bigger position here, guys. So I'm averaged in at 10, but have a pretty big size here. Looking for a nice little move back above the 10s here on Fisker. Take a look here on the 5-minute, or if you look at the 15-minute, you'll see a nice pattern here. Sideways action, rule of 3 coming into play here. Should hold that 85, 81 support. Now get up there towards the 10. I'm looking for a push towards 1020s. That's where I'll take the first profit and look to see if we can continue.
What I noticed as soon as you brought up Fisker, I took a look at Rivian. Rivian popping to highs here. Tesla also near highs, hanging out right around highs, although it has backed off a little bit. I wonder if there's something going on. I didn't hear anything, although I did just not hear Charlie a second ago. So maybe that was about Rivian. Let's take a look at a different. Yeah, okay. So all the EV there, FFIE. Let's take a look at EV Go. All of these EV stocks seem to be popping right now.
All that is, to me, sympathy off of Tesla.
Yeah.
So we got
as far as EV Go looks, I think if you break 897 here to the upside, you might be in good shape. That's yesterday's intraday high, by the way.
What you got for us, Andy?
Yeah, sorry, man. I got ADD, but anyways,
so the story of my life.
For real, I do,
Exactly.
right? But anyways, we got a really low volume. I don't know if this is a pre-runner or just some garbage is going to drop. We've got IREN. It only has 123,000 traded, but it's up 9.5%. Iris Energy.
Q's looking to break 304 again.
Ooh, there's the X breakout. There's the X breakout, guys. I didn't hold towards my risk, and I just broke out at break even, but that's nice push there towards 2017, almost to the high of the day, 2020. So you could look at NUE, Cliff. They're probably all kind of making a nice little push up.
This is where news really matters to me. If I have something that has no volume and it's just some penny name that I don't know what it is, I really need to have something, solid behind it, right?
Agreed. Qs are trying to hold there. We'll see if we can get that next leg up. For me, I still think we have room in the SPY to 400. That's where I think we'll definitely run into some resistance, but there's still some room. It could run again today. And I'm thinking more and more that we run right into probably next week, and just watch out for next week. But that doesn't mean that we don't have room to run for 2 days.
Looks just kind of looking at Rivian here. Rivian looks like it actually wants to bust above 34.
Snap pushing. That's an earnings push there, guys. You guys can watch that. It's getting into a gap zone, a huge gap zone on the daily. That's at 1558. So if it holds 1550s on pullbacks, that's what I would be looking for. And then you look at the chart today, what's happening in that Snapchat? Holding 1550s. So keep that one on your radar, guys.
And real quick, shop. This is a great mention here by let me find it.
That was one of my best trades yesterday.
Thumbs up runner, Faloona, check out shop. So this is kind of a juicy chart here, right? Looking at this daily here, this entire area gets cleared out. Maybe we actually have based and found the bottom here. Shop, of course, down from 170 at the high. Oh, that was, late last year. So huge range here. Would love to see this get taken out. I will watch this. This is a great shout out, Thumbs. Maybe this is something that we can actually swing or trade for more than a day. By the way, as I was babbling, Rivian busted through 34 there. So if you're looking to play the Rivian range break, you got it. 24 cents. They're holding up here at 34.20 on Rivian. One more thing that I'm looking for here on shop, like I said, I want to see it clear this area out. So let's call it 41. Currently at just about 40. I think the next target here would probably closer to 49. So pretty decent range in there if we're able to do this. Shop been beaten down like crazy this year. Good spot.
It was my trade of the day yesterday on the long side. So
yeah, nice job.
Not a bad one.
You guys seen SIDU?
I highlighted that at the open here this morning. Haven't traded it yesterday. We busted, didn't we? Okay.
SIDU.
Really, the trade for SIDU was the break above 475. Looks like that took us all the way to a high of 504. One thing that I will say about SIDU, we've traded this recently, and it does like to pull. So we talked about not necessarily trading the breaks on all of the names. High a day break here might work, but I'd almost rather add on pullbacks.
I mostly don't trade. A lot of these penny plays, they burn you so fast that I'm really cautious. I even start with a smaller position just to feel it out.
Big order size going through there. Someone's playing Fisker. I don't know if it's in the chat, but I saw 10,000 shares, 16,000 shares go through there. We'll see what happens. Definitely some bigger player here looking at Fisker. We'll see if we can continue the lift.
Hey, what's up, Zoltan? Good to see you in the chat.
I'm going to go ahead and take a break here, get ready for the interview that we've got coming up. I'll be back at around 10:45, 10:50 to bring us back. But Andy, absolute pleasure, man, hanging out with you. Definitely going to test out the 65 EMA, especially the 15. I mean, that gets my dopamine going. So I'm definitely going to check that out. Appreciate you letting us know.
Absolutely. It's great seeing you today. Thanks for inviting me on, guys.
All right. Throw Zunaid in the back. We still got Andy. We still got Lord Ryan. We're ready. Let's go. Let's get it going.
Andy, I'm setting up one of my charts here. My yellow line here is going to be my 65 EMA. Let's flip over to a 15-minute chart here. I'm going to watch this with you a little bit, see if we can't figure out how to use this puppy.
Oof, that X is giving me a little bit of a FOMO.
Huge call sweeps on Tesla. More of them.
FOMO on that X, man. Whew, that was a nice look today. Nice little push back. VWAP hold, VWAP bounce. Still looking for Fisker to break through the 1005, start getting on up there. Snap having a good day also. If you wanted, you guys can watch other auto manufacturers forward. Look for that to recover now. It's getting towards the VWAP. Could make a push towards 1310, 1320s. We'll see what happens there. SPY needs to kind of hold the VWAP now. We had a strong candle put in there. Let's see if it holds it. Same thing for the Qs, holding that VWAP pullback and then looking to take out the 305s on the Qs will get us that next leg. NVIDIA trying to just hold VWAP here, trying to get back towards the 180. It's not looking too bad. Same thing kind of chart for AMD. Apple is actually down on the range. So if you think, the SPY is going to come up and break the range on the upside here, maybe you're taking a pullback lag effect on Apple, kind of balancing out here around the 153.25 area. There's X. Man, I should have paid attention. X was trying to give it to me, but there he goes through the 2021s. Can he get on through there? That's what I'm kind of looking at. Fisker is the one that I'm in right now, looking for that next extension on up. We'll see if it continues pushing. What else? NUE earnings reaction. Yeah. Nucor earnings reaction. 1 hour chart on Unity. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Check it out.
The Unity, baby.
This was sorry, Mitch. This is a great spot by Berlin. That 1 hour chart on Unity, clear break there at 41.50. We're currently at 41.19. I'm actually watching this, Berlin. Huge shout.
I actually like this for, how we've been talking about what stocks you can go and take a swing. This is the kind of setup that I think you can take a swing on, because at least you're out. Lots of bottoming on these charts. Same way I feel on PayPal. If you're really thinking that this is the time, I think you got some bottoming to go off of in the 70s. Of course, you might look for some pullback action, but it doesn't look bad, at least I think, for longer term swings. And you're finally getting into that market where I think if you take in some swings, and as long as you're measured on your swings, it's not a bad approach.
Buddy has just announced that he is upset. So we got that going.
Meta chart looking strong, mentioned in the chat. Yeah, not too bad on that meta. Meta pushing probably with the snap, because that's gonna move snap. Snap will move Meta today. Keep that one on watch. Snap continuing to push there. Not a bad one to keep watch. What earnings are coming up on Friday? So you got Twitter and Verizon. So if you're seeing Twitter run, maybe that's into the earnings. Verizon is also after the bell, but T-Mobile got hit hard this morning. So maybe it lowered the bar enough for Verizon. There you guys see 10.07s here. We're going to go ahead and take off half of the position on Fisker. I just took it out at 10.07. That's a decent win already. That's from 10. I had a big sizing in this one, so wanted to take some profit really quickly. Now can let it work to see if we're going to continue the run. And Fisker just took a little bit off there at the 10.07. Going to look for it to just continue to push now.
So we just pulled back to that 65 over here in the 15-second for the SPY, and looking pretty precarious with that big upper shadow that we just kind of experienced here on the 5-minute.
See if we can get that next leg up. I've been doing a lot better on trying to be more objective in the pre-market and just going with that setup, right? And so that was the same thing in Fisker. I said, what in the pre-market? I said, if Tesla's up and we're seeing it push, I'm going to look for other auto manufacturers to try to catch the lag. That's what I'm trading.
Yeah, and ADXN, nice shot by Jess. ADXN, we just took a look at it. It looks like it actually wants to bust above here. Here it goes. There it goes. ADXN right through 175 as soon as we brought it up. Soon as we brought it up, popped through it. Now they yanked it back here. Let's see if we can actually get some push here. 180 your high.
Hey guys, if you guys are enjoying Andy joining us today and all the action that we're doing, please do us the favor and smash that like button. Let's see if we can get to 300 likes today before we get HGTM on later today. And we continue our trading action here. Fisker trying to get through the 10.10s. I'm going to let it get through there. 10.20s will be the next profit, and then we'll leave a little runner to see if we can get a nice push. Tilray, did we finally catch the bounce yet? Oof, not yet. I'm thinking about maybe cutting the swing trade. It's been coming down a little bit. Just kind of mention it. It's about half of what I had this morning, but just trying to figure out on what's going to happen there. I could run to the profit, but I'm just going to let those trades work for me.
ADXN, this is a monster move. What timing that was by our community shouting this out. I'm not in this. I was too slow to get to this. This thing's pushing. They bought in a huge bid there, 181 it looked like. They're just walking it up. Let's see if that thing is real. New highs here, 187. If we take a look on the daily chart, I believe that this is a gap. Sure is. 189 is your gap. So into 189, we're in a pretty big gap here, and they're trying to take it there. 183 is where that huge bid was. Looked like they're soaking some of that, but I still think we go higher here. Not in this right now. Wish I was.
Looks like this is the time when Zunaid's puts would have been working out. Like we're really looking like things are getting a little more ugly here in the Qs and the SPY.
Jess, that was crazy. Was that you? Was that you buying ADXN right through that break as soon as I started talking about it? Because that timing was too perfect. That was too perfect.
I'm taking a look. The Qs did reject at 305. It went right to 304.88. So that's going to be the level that I'll look at on the Qs for the upside continuation. SPY rejecting the 395.50 area. Where is that? In the shadow zone. It's just rejecting the shadow zone now. That's not a good sign there. It could knock us back down towards the 391s.
Guys, I can't go without saying this. We have 100% ripper here, ADXN. You may have already said it when I was focusing on something, but 34.7 million traded, just hit 100%.
Yep, and a break of 189. Andy sends us into the gap on the daily, which is one of the things I'm watching. EVgo, by the way, we talked about some of those electric vehicles. EVgo up at 9 here, so that is also grinding, but very, very strong.
Jessica, no worries. Those smaller share size with those plays, I think, are kind of a better approach, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I've talked about that in the past because you get around the volatility sometimes. You'll see sometimes Ryan has to stop out maybe 2-3 times to get into the green.
Yep.
That's just because he's tighter on it, right? And so it all depends there on what you want to do. It's okay to have smaller share size and then maybe look to see if these run, right? Because if it's 100% runner, and you're risking about 10% or maybe 20% on the name, you want to be making decent gains on the reward side, right? And so it's all about the profit to loss ratio on what you want to attack.
See, one of the things we mentioned here, at least while I'm here right now, is a lot of garbage stocks. And I know that Ryan has called me out on saying, I typically don't trade that because Ryan's a little more responsible than I am.
No, I trade the garbage all the time. Wait a sec. I trade the garbage all the time. When I'm trying to swing or when I'm trying to actually hold something overnight, you're absolutely right. I really don't like buying garbage. I really like doing my due diligence. But man, when we're playing off the scanner and we got fast moving stocks, sometimes it's the garbage that's moving. Boy, those birds are
just chirp. They're
chirping, man. Everyone,
the market's chirping.
Everyone wants to be a part of live trading. Everyone. The cat, look at the cat. The cat's just chilling. He's just chilling. Everyone wants to be a part of live trading.
See, what I was saying there, though, is a big temptation for me when I started trading, and I'm sure a lot of people have the same thing when they get into this and they have to learn the hard way, is, you see these penny movers and you get into them. And then after you get into them and it turns against you a little bit, you might be just like I was. You start looking at the news. You start rationalizing why this is going to go back up, why you're going to get your money, and then you're talking yourself into turning this into an investment rather than just a trade. And this is not what we're here for.
Nope, absolutely not. And you're absolutely right about that, Andy. Your first stop is your best stop. Yeah, the birds are tweeting real tweets. Lol.
The only way I feel that trades should become investments, and then I wouldn't say investments, I would say maybe become a swing trade, is if it just blows to your reward levels. And then you're trying to figure out, am I going to hold on to a little piece? And then from there, it's all about what is your approach? Is your approach to be on the base hits, or is it to every now and then capture a home run? I try to hold on some pieces on swings sometimes. Just a small piece I've found out has made me sometimes the same amount on the like the large piece that I sold. So it's all dependent on what quality names you're trading. And I think Andy stated there perfectly. If you know the fundamentals of the company, or you know that this isn't probably a company that I want to be holding for the next 5 years, and maybe you always take that assessment of if I'm going to hold some shares or not. And if it's going against you in the risk side, well, I think that at that point, it's never important to kind of change a trade into investment, but to each his own.
Yeah, I always want to have a clear idea of what I'm trading ahead of the trade, right? So if I'm going to invest, I want to know that I'm buying that for an investment. If I buy it for a day trade, I don't want to start reviewing news and talking myself out of it and doing all of that. I don't want to do that. Your first stop is your best stop. Got to stick to the plan. And I'll tell you something, that was something that I learned with experience, right? Early on, I'd buy into, this stock that's 30 cents is going to be $10 in a few weeks. And we're going to be able to do a whole bunch of cool stuff. It doesn't work like that. And you know, I'm not going to buy something on hopes, right? We're not going to trade on hopium. That's what we talk about. TRH is a good shot, Jay. Sorry.
The biggest hint is that you find it on a scanner, you know, that's just some low float ripper. If you find a stock on a low float ripper scanner and you're grabbing that and you're going to hold it as it pulls red, and you're wishing and hoping and praying or whatever you're doing, you know, I think it was a Market Wizard's book. I think he said that, you know, God's not a market manipulator, so quit praying for your stocks. Just stop out.
You can't just pray in a certain direction, Andy, and the stock goes up.
It's never worked for me, Mitch. I don't know,
me
man.
either.
Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
I tried north, south, west, east. We'll see what happens here. Finally getting that push in Fisker. I did see a big seller showing up there on setting up a wall at 1010. And here it goes, trying to break through that wall at 1010. Let's see if it can get through that 1011 and get up there towards the 1020. We take a little bit off there, and boom, not a bad trade. I've been looking at this one from the pre-market, just trying to keep nailing some in and out, especially in this market, not trying to get stray too far off the stocks that I'm watching, because this market is not the one to be just kind of trading everything under the sun.
ADXN took that 189 level that we talked about. I entered here very, very tight stop, but I'm going to try it here for a push. There we go. 193 ask, pulled it all the way back to the buy. Let me go ahead and get this up here. ADXN. Now remember, this has room. Or if we take a look at the daily here, I don't want to take my eye off of this too much. This is what we're playing for, right? We just broke this. We are in this gap, folks. We're in this gap all the way up to what, 315 it looks like. So I'm not holding it for that long. I'm definitely watching it here, but I took that 189 break. Let's see if we can get some push.
Yeah, we're sitting in the chop right now. This is not, the market really hasn't chose a direction as of yet. It could just as easily be down, not you know, after an amazing move yesterday. Could be some profit taking. You're still in this ADXN, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm thinking about taking it off right here, though, to be honest, because it's feeling a little heavy after that break. It's not getting the push that I had hoped. So there we go. Out there. And of course it goes. See, Andy, as soon as I sold it, it goes up another penny. That's how it goes. I am out ADXN. I would look to re-enter this here. The fact that this is now something that I'm going to watch. We cleared out that break. We are in the gap. We get any type of back test here. I will look at taking it, but it does feel a little heavy. I'd like to see that volume stick increase. That'd be another entry trigger.
So before I take any trade, I'm usually trying to look at the flow index, see what's going on there. And we continue to make higher highs on both the 1 minute and the 15 minute on ADXN.
Yep. And also one more thing here on Unity. I'm still keeping an eye on Unity. Berlin, great shout here on Unity. 4150 is that level. I'd look to take some shares for a scalp on a high day break there. 4150. Also, Berlin, one more thing. As the winner of the Happy Hour Fantasy League last year, you receive an automatic invite to the Fantasy League this year. So contact me if you are interested in that.
Out there, guys. Just took out the Fisker trade. I'm seeing the Qs coming down there. I have a feeling Tesla's going to flip on us. So I'm not going to fight it. In this market, I've learned, at least in the last couple of weeks, that just take what you can get and move on, at least in this market. Sometimes I'll hang out and I'll battle a little bit more, but not in this environment.
And real quick, Rip and DT, good to see you again. ADXN has a path to fill that gap 315 in the after hours. We'll see if we end up getting there.
2 for 2 today. Let's see if I can go 3 for 3.
Thumbs up. I didn't run that tournament. Reach out to whoever ran that tournament if there's still an issue with that. ADXN strong here. Let me let the cat out. Come on, buddy.
All right, Tilray, can you catch that bounce for me? All right, got myself a little bit of a cushion to have some fun now and look for another trade. And there's Fisker right back to my entry. So, hey, I'm okay with taking a small gain versus letting it come back to my entry and stopping me out break even. We'll see if it bounces here. That's kind of what happened on X, but also right back down to the VWAP right there. So actually below VWAP now, going to the 50. We'll see what happens on some of these trades. Let's take a look around at the sector analysis. I haven't done that today, so I can go ahead and do so. I'll put up my chart here.
Yep.
So of course, let's do another kind of check here. So healthcare is the only one in the green from the open. Everything else is essentially red from the open. The ones that are dragging the most, energy and communication services, followed by real estate. So I was looking for a longer term short on a stock like Lennar. I think this is setting up nice right here. I also was looking for a short on ITB. That one's already breaking down. That one actually looks even better. But I'll kind of keep watch on these. I might take some shorts on some of the home construction names.
TBLT might be curling up here off of the VWAP. TRHC still printing highs. Jay Wild, I know you were on TRHC. Good stuff there. I actually didn't trade this one. Watching TBLT here for a bit of a curl. Let me pull that up here. Mitch, if I interrupt, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, dude. You're good. Not a worry at all.
If we can't hold 392.44 in the SPY, I believe that we could really start to fall off here.
Moderna has a little setup here. If you guys I've been looking for this kind of setup to come back on through to the 180s. It's an interesting setup there in Moderna biotech stock right off the VWAP, looking interesting right now. It's off the 169s, and so you'd have to risk down to like about 168 here. Doesn't look too bad there. We'll see what happens in Moderna.
Andy, for the SPY, do you have a trade if we break down through that level, that 392 level that you just gave? Are you trading it, or are you waiting for it to settle?
Honestly, Ryan, I'm seeing the flow index bouncing sharply on the Qs right now while we're dropping to a lower low on the SPY. And usually when I touch the SPY or the Qs during times like that, it's like it's preloaded one to the other to kind of, there's a range that they can play. And, it's whack-a-mole at that point. So I don't really like to get in and mess around with the whack-a-mole trades. I've done it today 3 times, and it's not worked out for me yet. So,
if it ain't working, don't keep doing it. No, absolutely.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't working, don't do it.
That's right.
Right now, I'm looking for a rejection about 393.58, declining level. But just took some profit on the third one. It wasn't bad, Ryan. It was 2. We thought it was 3. We thought it was going to go 3. Just took profit on the third one, so we're good.
There you go.
We never try to recoup losses around here, but I just did. So I'm going to pat myself on the back.
I'm just rolling through my scanner list here. Don't really see any setups. I guess maybe PDD, but I'm nervous on that one.
Yeah,
Apron breaking down after that spike.
Defensive going into the green.
What was that, Mitch?
Defensive's going into the green.
Tilray put the screws to us just a little bit more, and I don't know. I mean, we still could find some support. One thing I found about pot stocks is they're some of the suckiest stocks to trade. They're the most difficult. And if we have a nice little area like a bull flag or some type of consolidation, I see in pot stocks more than anything where they do exactly what we're seeing in Tilray in the 15-minute. We ran some stops, and that's when we start making a new high after we go and make it look like garbage,
Yeah, when it gets like caca, the cannabis gets good,
Mitch. Oh, Mitch.
Well, I still have it, so I'm allowed to kind of poo-poo my own trade to the upside, right now.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not going to poo-poo your trade. Shop looking like
I'll poo-poo it. I got you guys. I'm in from 350 just to kind of get the perspective on Tilray. It got down there to the 380s, but it was up there. I mean, past $4 this morning. It was past it's up there to 410. So
I don't know how you guys manage your position sizes and manage your day. I mean, how we manage our capital is more important, I think, than the trades in a way. We could throw
100%.
darts. We could throw darts possibly and profit if we manage our risk. But for me, I like to break it up into pieces. I like to take my account and break it up, so I'm trading for this part here, this piece here, this piece here. So it's not an overall loss. It's compartments,
Agreed. I like that approach. I mean, you can't be trying to put all your eggs in one basket. They say it all the time, right?
Nasty pull here on ADXN. Hopefully nobody got caught in that. That was ugly. And Larry saying EVFM running. EVFM really strong today. This was one of the contraceptive plays. Huge candle right off that 88, 89 break. Just big time volume. Took 90s, or it looks like it printed 96s.
All right, so I'm starting to feel a little bit brave here. Looking at a Tesla short setup here through 790s. So if it can go to test like it wants to get to 790s one more time, and you see a quick reject, that's what I'm going to be looking for here. Don't want to get too early on it because I want to give it a chance to get back through that 790 level. Let's see what happens here.
Right now, guys, I'm looking at the clock and I see it's 10:20. So in 10 minutes, we'll be printing that 60 at the bottom of the hour if you have a 60-minute chart for the SPY or the Qs with no pre-market or post-market on there.
Real quick, I want to answer this question. Guys, what's the difference between undervalue and a value stock? What is best for a long-term investment? Well, I think undervalue just represents that something in the marketplace is not being valued as much as it is. Value stock, a little bit different. These are stocks that don't necessarily move on momentum, have strong fundamentals, things of that nature. Both of those seem good. I mean, as far as the undervalue goes, as long as the thesis is there, as long as the long-term thesis is there, that does sound like it's good for an investment.
See in the chat, Zeth says Tilray rip, and we just popped up nicely off that pullback in Tilray. I'll call it ripping when we break resistance, though, guys.
Looking at Tesla struggle up here.
Market pulling a little bit. We're seeing a report that Biden has COVID.
My whole house had this. I don't know if it was a ninja variant or whatever, but my whole house had that stuff. It was not fun, but I'm glad to be out of that.
Yeah, man, that's how it goes. You got to get through it once.
Yep.
At least once where it actually affects you, you know?
It wasn't. It got to where it felt like it was getting scary, but then it didn't get worse. But last time we had that, or I had that, dude, I went to the ER and
Starter.
104.3 fever.
Yeah, that's the high fevers are what get it. I never had that, thankfully.
Starter on the short of Tesla, willing to add there. I literally went in with probably about 1/7 of the sizing that I'm planning on going. So it's just a starter, just in case that it just does a wash.
Man, TRHC, that was the spot. Veru, all right. Veru making, after a real disappointing afternoon yesterday, Veru popping here today. Maybe we're curling back up. Move through 1650 might be possible there on Veru.
787.37s there for the start.
So basically, I'm not seeing anything really too fun.
Yeah, me either.
I am still waiting on this SPY. I think that we could find some support here and turn around.
All right, getting weaker there on Tesla. There's a little bit of a flush there. Now down towards 784s. I'm looking for a pushback here above the 785s to add.
The funny thing is, I was looking for the opposite on Tesla. I'm glad I didn't trade it this morning because I thought we were going to dump and I could grab the bottom and then it would, just lift me up.
That's how it is. One of the things is having an outlook in pre-market, but always being flexible, right? If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. As simple as that. I like trading like that, where you're looking in a certain area because of certain things. You're looking for certain things to happen. And so there's multiple variables that are coming into play versus just, oh, I just saw a price jump there. Let's get into this stock. I like taking multiple variables into account.
Absolutely.
When I'm
and anytime you can marry those variables together, the better picture you get. Pablo asking Ryan, what do you think about Google for a swing here? I would not take Google for a swing here. Let me throw up my chart here real quick and show you what I'm looking at. So first of all, as far as actually trading this, what I would like, I want this area to get cleared out. This consolidation zone, I don't want to be in on this. All right, because this, you can see this is just back and forth. This is just chop, chop, chop. Now, having shares, that probably doesn't matter as much, but if you have options, you're going to be all over the place on those options. So I'd actually like to see this formation fall, whether it be to the downside or the upside. On top of that, my belief is that I still think, although we're rallying right now, and while this rally might have legs, I still think that we probably retest some of those lows. Maybe individual stocks don't go back to their lows, but I do think we test that 360 low on the SPY. I wouldn't want to load up in a swing position in Google at a time like this. If this pattern falls out, then we'll reassess. Good question, though.
Really important here. The Qs can break through the lows here. That's why I was looking at the Tesla short in the first place. I had that feeling that the Qs were looking a little bit weak, at least in my eyes. And now they're looking to test down there towards the 301.80s. Let's see if we go down straight to 301. That's what I want to see, a big candle put in there and down towards 301. Kind of a flush out, right? Kind of flush the bulls. Let's see if that happens here.
You know, Ryan, I'd said to you earlier that I don't typically trade resistance breaks, right? But for some reason, I have no problem trading predictable areas of support that could be that flush that Mitch was just saying there. I guess I like to live on the wild side.
Yeah, well, hey, we all do a little bit.
Can't blame you for that, man.
It's funny, we all have that area where, you know, it's probably just as dangerous either way, but we're more comfortable in one place versus the other.
Yeah, I can't buy off the highs. I agree. I sometimes am brave enough to buy on support, but I don't like buying through the high of the day. Maybe it was the times where I used to trade with my man from Warrior Trading, Ross Cameron, you know. Let's just say I paid him enough.
I'm just glad you're laughing about that.
Hey, you got to know. You got to know who you paid it up to, man.
ADXN curling here, by the way.
You know, I'm not going to say who it is, but there was somebody, one of those gurus. I was in their webinar, the one that's supposed to draw you in and get you to buy the subscription. You know, and I somebody in the chat said, "Is this live?" And the person says, "Yes, it is live. This is a live webinar." So I started asking some questions myself, and at the end of the webinar, some moderator come in there and they're like, "This is not live. You know, that's sorry about that."
Wow.
Lol.
Wow.
Here's that flush there in Tesla. You see, if I would have had full position size, I'd probably take it off right here because it's a nice little flush to VWAP, and you could get always VWAP bounces here. But I took very small sizing and told you it was about a seventh of what I was trying to get in. Wasn't able to get those ads. So from here, what I'll do is I'll just let it work. Like if it wants to continue breaking down, I'll give it a little bit of area here to work. The Qs did flip down there. It went from the 301.80s straight to 301. So that's kind of what I wanted to see there. Now let's see if it doesn't recover 302. So now I'm just looking, do we get a recovery there? If we get a recovery, I'll get concerned about my shorts. If the Qs just continue to flush and the SPY continues to flush, then I'd continue to be like, okay, just follow the trend with Tesla.
ADXN curling.
Yeah, the clouds are a little bit confusing. I agree with you on that end. It sometimes gets confusing on the screen.
Yeah, the Ichimoku cloud. I tried to learn that. Didn't go well for me. Honestly.
It's how it is, man. It's how it is. There you're seeing Tesla, what? Bounce at the VWAP a little bit. I kind of expected that. I mean, I always kind of expect VWAPs to kind of bring a little bit of support or play as resistance if it's on the short side, right? So let's see what happens here. Above 785 is where I can actually add and then hold break even on the rest. We'll see what happens.
Chilled Monkey, interesting handle. I haven't made one trade today due to lagging internet, and if I place a trade in this market, I could be down 500 easily if my internet went out. So good job knowing your surroundings. I do the same thing. If my internet is unstable, my broker is not working, if all sorts of hell seems to be breaking loose, I just step away. Don't force it. Don't create a position that's even worse for yourself.
You know what you do, Ryan?
Mobile hotspot?
No, you chill monkey it. You just chill out, man. You're already a chilled monkey. Just chill, baby. Just chill. Gotcha. Take it easy, you know? Sometimes taking it easy is good. Another thing is, let's say if you're addicted to trading, because there's people that are addicted to trading. I know they're out there. I'd be one of those too. So sometimes if I don't want to trade and I'm feeling that itch, just leave. What the hell are you doing here? You know what I mean? If your idea is not to make money today and you're feeling the itch, but your internet's a worry, well, it might be better just to go check out the pool or something.
Check out the pool. No, you're right about that. Don't force it in a bad internet day. That is for sure. SPY pulling here, by the way. Market pulling to lows.
Don't be like me and trading in hurricanes.
One of the most valuable things that I did for my trading was I got away from this desk for a couple weeks, then I got away from my desk for a few weeks. I just went out and started walking some trails, walking the beach, and you know, I come back with a clearer head, and I'm ready to commit to what I know that I need to do. And I think that's the problem as a trader for me. I get clouded, you know, and I'm not in the right headspace. So then I start making mistakes. So at that point, I just needed to get away, clear it all out, clear the garbage, and come back and do better.
I think baseball players is a very good example of this, because if you know baseball, right, you know there's 162, a shit ton of games, right? And it's almost like they play every single day. Yeah. And because of that, you can get into a mental rut, right? And that's very easy, right? Because you're playing what was played yesterday in your mentality of what's happening today. And so one of the easiest ways is, if you're struggling, is to really refresh the mind and come back into the mentality of what your goal and missions are when you're coming up and stepping to the plate. Same way like a baseball player. They sometimes just have to take a step back, take a day off even if they need to. You'll even see some of the best baseball players. Sometimes they'll even, and we're not going to get into it, but they'll fake an injury just to take a day off to kind of get their mood back, their focus back. I think this is something that traders need to do probably more often. Day traders sometimes just determining today is not the day, and determining that early can save you a lot of money. But like always, you guys choose your risk assessment.
I've done that recently, Mitch. There's just a couple of days where I just didn't have it. It's just the things that I was trading just wasn't working. And instead of trying to force it into working, I just said, you know what, I'm going to go do something else, come back to it again. And here we are.
Yeah, the American cricket. You got it.
The American cricket. Oh man, Mitch, you got to be ready
honestly,
to pull your hair out with that.
Honestly, I've always wanted to play cricket. Just a little part of me, I guess, the baseball player in me. I've always wanted to play a little bit of cricket.
Did you watch the All-Star game?
Oh hell yeah! I mean, I almost got the home run derby guy perfectly on. I picked Julio.
Oh wow, he'll tell you.
You know that was plus 700, right, Ryan? That would have been.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't have seen me on Tuesday.
I wasn't guaranteed. I had to go take my car back to the shop on Tuesday. So
I would have been like, you know what, vacation day, baby, pina coladas. All right, this is where we start getting into that lovely trap zone. The trap zone is on. Let's see what happened here. Spy and the Qs. Spy hanging on a little bit better than the Qs. Let's see if the Qs wash through here, through right back to like the 300s. That's what I'm watching. Tesla, it's rejecting that VWAP bounce there, so I'm holding on. Holding on.
This is bad. What is bad, JC? The pull to the lows here on the SPY?
Yeah.
What are you seeing out there?
Reversal.
Part that gets fun with the 65 EMA is right now we got a predictable area of support, and we could bounce on Tesla back up to a declining 783.40 before we get before we see if we're going to get rejected again.
I see your 65.
Raise it to 200.
Yeah, I'm down. We were playing poker, I would.
There we go. We just broke that level, so that's probably not going to happen.
We need to have a celebrity poker night, Ryan, where we do a little poker on here. Bring on some
Benzinga after dark. We're playing poker. We have no filter.
Oh yeah, dude. We bring on some analysts out there, some analysts that think they got the shots out there, and we tell them to come and sit at the Benzinga poker tables.
Oh my goodness, Mitch. When you have good ideas, you have good ideas. What can I say?
Yeah, Ryan and I are like, yeah, can we do this weekend? Like, I'm ready to play.
Oh, that's funny.
President Biden tested positive for COVID. What's going to happen?
Probably nothing.
Well, I guess this means bad for solar stocks. He's probably not going to be able to mention anything on solar stocks. Yep, and there you see it. EMPH turning around. Solar stocks coming down there. Tesla, come on, baby. Come back
Yes,
to that
Cindy.
770.
Yes,
I'm willing
Cindy,
to take 17 points.
Cindy, it would be Texas Hold'em for sure.
Oh, hell yeah. That's the only way you play.
Yeah, that's the only way to play.
I used to play
ADXN
that
looks like it's
app.
going to take out 2 here. Going to try it through 2.
No
Texas
second
Hold'em
card
app.
stud.
Pulled it right back off 2.
No stud talk here.
All right, right back on 2. There it goes.
I see
Yanked
you,
it right
ADX.
back.
I'll
Let's see
put
if we
you up.
push. Oh, here. let me
Put
pull
that
it
up for us. Put that up for us.
ADXN. There we go. A little bit more. There we go. ADXN. Nice breakthrough 2 there. All right. All right. ADXN, another one. That was actually a really good shout, too. Who hit that one? Who was that? Zeth Marshall. Looks like you are. Oh, it was you. Yeah. ADXN almost complete. $2 tap. All right. 206. I'm out on that scalp. Nice job. Community making us money again. Let's
Boom, boom.
go. Let's
Money
go.
in the bank. RKK turned into the downside there. What is dragging? Coin coming right back down, baby. Who's got their coin place out?
I don't know about you guys, but everything I'm seeing just looks pretty
Ugly. It's also slowing down too, at least in my eyes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. My scanner has severely slowed down here.
yeah.
I mean, I just took a 4-cent scalp on ADXN. I don't have a whole lot of other stuff going right now.
Yeah, I don't want to see
Boyle
Tesla
Boyle
above
big pop
782.
on a draw that was not, or on a gas print that was not as good as they thought here.
Up or down?
Boyle is up, yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good there. UNG, look at that pop, boy.
That's what I'm saying. And
Boy!
Boyle's the levered ETF.
Yeah, that one pushed, man.
Wow, ADXN a lot more now. 215 bid. All right, big pop there on ADXN, and we got that. If you guys played that, great stuff on that break there, ADXN.
Oh, I missed that $50 buy on Boyle. That was one of the swing trades I wanted to get back into for that 100 rip back up.
The Widowmaker, baby. The
Oh
Widowmaker.
man, I was trying to come Widow.
Unity backed off that 4150 test that we were hoping for. A little bit of a pullback here on Unity. Tesla pulled back. Apple at lows, Square at lows, Amazon at lows.
Yeah, just don't want to see it close above 782. I think if that happens, you'll start getting back up there to the highs. So
guys, I'm slightly red for the day, but I mean that's not a bad thing. Slightly red is exactly how I win and stay in this game. Trust my process, right?
Yep, absolutely. I mean, as long as you're not taking big losses, you're going to be able to fight another day.
and another thing is by having slightly red, right? That gives you what? Still room. Still room. That's what matters there. One trade usually, depending on your risk and return, puts you right back into play. So
Revlon testing the 6 level now.
This market's going to need the paddles, though, Mitch. You know.
Yeah,
it does. And I'll give it, it's probably going to get the paddle here. It's just Tesla. I'm out of Tesla there, guys. Just took the little profit, semi-profit there. Not going to keep battling here. And I mean, I didn't get the share size that I wanted in it. So
Rev near 6 garbage. You're exactly right, Jay. Just checking it out here. Just want to see what the pop is. I don't
see
think
that pop coming back.
Chris
Tesla taking out the highs will get us back probably.
Chris is asking, Ryan, what time frame are you using for the 65 EMA? Well, I'm trying to pick up tips here from Andy. So you're probably better off asking Andy. The one that I've been paying the most attention to has been the 15-minute. I know Andy's using the 15-second for shorter term trades. I'm just taking a look at the 15-minute, see if I can determine any of these support and resistance levels here.
I mean, that's the thing. Just finding what fits best for the chart and the time frame we're using. So if we see that the price action is bullish and it's holding some type of trend, you know, just see what fits best for you on what you're looking at, and throw on different EMAs and different SMAs and you know, even the VWAP, and just see how is that working out. VWAP's a little bit different as for how I use it, but you know, that's how I found the 65. Just placing different moving averages until I'm like, wow, that's really fitting as support this whole way up, and then, you know, as a rejection, it's holding as a perfect area of rejection the whole way down.
Gold is up today, guys. That's probably meaning a weak dollar today, but I haven't taken a look at the dollar. So
Sal is saying, who called the ADXN? There were multiple people in this room trading it. We had that highlighted as one of the stocks prior to the market opening today, and we had a number of different players trading. I think the most recent one, Ripon DT's on that. Zeth Marshall is on that. There are a number of people in here. Love that we're killing it. Love that we're killing it. Love that you made your goal for the day, man. That's awesome. XD curling here. Good call there, Ryan.
Instead of that 60 consolidation I was talking about earlier, it's looking more like we're gonna drop off and round out throughout the day.
On the SPY, you mean?
Yeah, the SPY.
Yeah. EVFN continues to go.
As far as the 65 though, guys, if you don't mind, the 65, the relationship to the 200 is incredibly valuable because you got declining level on the 65 and a rising 200. And usually, if you look for that rejection while the 65 just starts to decline, when you still have that rising 200, that's an indication that we're about to drop.
What were you trying to say, Mitch?
Do a little dance.
Oh, you were singing.
Make a little noise. Get down tonight. Uh-huh. No, I was looking around. I was saying that the airlines are down, cruise lines are down. I was looking to see if something else wanted to get strong here, but I don't see much. Not much. Do a little dance. Get down tonight.
With the music, I started my day. Anyways, if you guys watch that movie Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg, you know,
I've never seen that.
Anyways, stand up and shout. So I just had to throw that on there. And
Andy, do you have your own YouTube channel? Why don't you go ahead and talk about where they can find you?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel, Mighty Soldiers Trades. You check it out, and we have a Discord channel. I can put the link on at Mighty Soldiers on Twitter. Twitter is kind of the hub. It's the central. It's where we're at all the time. I took a pretty decent break, guys. I was walking the beaches and trails for a while and just enjoying life. And you know, I just know that I've got a lot of support in this community. This community is beautiful, and I love you guys. And you guys have treated me very well. So I want to be here, and I want to provide value for you guys. So you know, I'm gonna come back and do a lot more.
Love it.
There you see it.
Absolutely love it.
All right. Is anything else going to come into the green from the open? Essentially, still only healthcare and consumer defensives have gotten into the green from the open. I pay attention to that often because if it's never going to get into the green, at least the sector, I won't expect it to be ending there. Moderna looks like a nice little setup now. I might take that here. So I'm going to try to get in here. It's already kind of popping a little bit there. It just popped about 30 cents. So I'm looking for a pullback. And of course, it pops 40 cents.
Look at ADXN, man. Oh.
Yeah, ADXN here. You want yours?
I mean, it's just, this is crazy. Look at this move. Huge move. I actually didn't play the second one. I only played that first one.
Ah, man, I hate Moderna loves to do this to me right when I always want to get in it and it pops 40 cents. And I hate doing that. Like, oh, I want to get in here. Oh, no, 40 cents away. It's just tough. I got to wait for pullbacks now.
Yeah, but really for me in my trading, though, I found that, you know, stopping out is key. I can't say that enough. Just Ryan, you said it in our first webinar. You said somebody told you that the key to winning is being a good loser, knowing when to take a loss, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I remember that. I'll never forget that. You have to learn to lose before you can learn how to win, and your first stop is your best stop. And those two things have really kind of guided me through this journey.
I mean, even looking back at a book in 1940, Jesse Livermore, you know, He lets you know right there. Don't add into your losers. This is how you ruin yourself, is by adding into your losers, stopping out, knowing when to move on. Just how to lose and how to manage our capital is way more important than anything else.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
The hardest lesson I think on that one is when you start talking about investments, right? Because everybody tells you, yeah, just kind of have a longer outlook or get in here, and in the long run, it's going to do you well. And it can get you in a world of hurt, also is just figuring out, even on long-term investments, what that pain threshold is so important.
I was talking to a friend back during the COVID crash, and at that point, I think they were panicking. They were ready to probably just drop it and cut the losses. And in that case, I didn't tell them what to do, but I did tell them both sides of the story, that we can add flows on something like that too. This is not averaging down. If we're investing for the long term in the SPY, and we've seen that the SPY has been in an uptrend since like forever, this might not be something that we want to cut for a steep loss and then watch it move back to the highs. This market that we're in right now, I don't have the same confidence with that. But back in that time, we really looked like we were going to make new highs, and we did in the biggest way that you could imagine. Record bull market. They did. They added flows instead of cutting that, and they ended up profiting nicely.
Trying to get into Fisker. It's back above the $10 level here. I'm seeing Tesla come back to the highs there.
Box D, nice move. Scalped RYTM through the high a day.
I had another investor friend, guys. He always says, it's not a loss unless you cut it, unless you close the trade.
I mean, technically, he's right.
I can get a trader in a lot of trouble, though.
That loss could be your only loss. Let's just say that.
Right.
Literally, it could be your only loss because there goes the account.
So you're right. I mean, an investor versus trader, what you're doing here, it matters.
It matters so much. Time frame is so important, guys. So important. And then there's the people that think they trade on a time frame, but they really trade on another time frame, right? I've seen that often, where they trade off of a 1 minute, but then they're looking at like 1 hour charts. That doesn't really make sense there, at least in my eyes. The time frames that you're looking at are too separate. And so, like, let's say if you're looking at maybe like a 5 minute and a 15, that's not too bad, because you got about 3 5-minute candles into that 15-minute kind of time frame. That's not the worst. I've always seen people try to work backwards. I think the Strat does this, right? Kind of trading in the shorter time frame.
No,
paying attention to it. I know that you guys can.
A lot of time frames. Strat looks at a lot of time frames, and it does well when the time frames tell you the same thing.
When you're looking backwards.
So what I'm looking at with that, Mitch, and this is what the Strat's saying, is looking for time frame continuity. So if I'm looking to scalp on a 1 minute or the 5 minute or something like that, I don't really like calling it scalp. But anyways, if I'm looking at taking a short term trade on something like that, if I'm looking at the daily, the weekly, the monthly, the 60-minute or the 4 hour, and it's all lining up over there, then I can feel comfortable getting in and out on that up move on that, when we broke out, let's say on the 60s. So the 60s give me the green light to look at my 5 minute, and then on my 5 minute, that's where I still make my trade.
Like ADXN, by the way, pulling. This is exactly what we want to see if we want to have any more trades to the long side. VWAP, I have at 180. We'll see if it ends up getting down there. But ADXN pulling right now, this is a good thing, and unless, of course, you're stuck in it.
Yeah, I use that more for risk management, though. If I'm looking at the 60s and I see that we've clearly reversed against my position, against my thesis, I'm saying, hey, I got to hop out, man. I'll get back in this if it goes back in my direction, but I got to get out of here because I see how far that can move at that point.
Taking a look at Q's and Tesla and Fisker here. Going to go ahead and start getting into Fisker. There you guys see, I just got in there at 997s here. It's not a bad little entry there on Fisker. I got 998s there. So let's see if we can get back above the 10 here. Risk off the 990s. It's about 8 cents risk. Looking for it to get back above the 1020. Really, it's going to be dependent also on Tesla. If we can get back to the 790s, I could see this kind of catching the Qs and getting it back up there towards the 303s. But the Qs are fighting and they can't really hold above this want to see it hold the 301.80 pullback. Make sure it's holding around the 302s and then start kind of laddering back up.
I mean, the Tesla is really strong up at the highs here, but I'm just not sure we're going to see that move to the highs just yet.
Yeah,
breaking out
I'm not either.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, the only thing is I saw Tesla coming back strong, and I know that it's kind of leading. In my eyes, Tesla's leading the market today. And
Excuse me.
You know, I thought Tesla was going to lead the market in the other way. I thought these earnings and stuff were going to come out and shutting down the Shanghai or whatever they were doing there. I thought it was going to drag the market a little lower, but that has never not happened.
Elon had those people sleeping in the factories for that reason, man. Elon said, "You're not allowed to go home, man. You got to be working on making those vehicles. You sleeping in the factory tonight, boy.
Deliveries. We need deliveries. Son.
We need deliveries over your lockdown, so you're not allowed to leave the factory. You're just gonna make vehicles."
You're saying they all have that complexion, that beautiful complexion that Elon has.
Yes, let's just say they don't see the sun
Super
too
pale.
often. They don't see the sun too often, my friend Andy.
RYTM, by the way, highs here. If you did take that on that break, I'd trim it right here. I'm out. RYTM. Small size.
Yeah, I was just telling Maurice from Edgewonk this morning that, with me, it's sort of like a farmer's tan thing. So when I take off my shoes, my legs are nice and tan, but my feet are so white that it looks like I'm wearing bright white shoes from a distance.
That's
Yeah,
how it
I have.
goes.
So ever since I've been hitting the golf course a lot, I have tan lines right around where my sock and my golf shoe is. It's kind of annoying, to be honest, but it is what it is.
I've had people make fun of me for it, Ryan. It's okay.
Yeah, if someone's going to make fun of me for it, it is what it is.
All right, want to see Tesla take out that 391. There's 389s. Let's see if the 390s pop up, the 790s pop up here, and it gets through that 791 level. That would probably bring the Qs back to VWAP, and then I'll be looking for it to get back above, start pushing out. But the chop is continuing now. Now you're getting some of that choppy action, right? So it's difficult to trade in this time. I'll definitely go ahead and reiterate that.
My problem is I see Tesla doing this, and then I look over at the SPY and I see a nice little real body rejection area potentially at 393.83.
I agree. I mean, there's a lot of chop now. I'm just trading in a
Nothing
direction.
Nothing's lining up. The stars are not aligning for this to be that day that I'm going to hit the pedal, to the metal.
And that's I think more important than any of this is understanding that what Andy just said. Know when it's gas to the pedal, and flooring it and taking lots of trades is so important as a day trader, because there's those days, and I'm sure Andy has seen those, where it's just like, holy shit, I can just keep bam, 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 bam. And those are the days that we want to make our money. That's where we want to split our equity and get that up wave in our equity and really push up on the equity. And that's why it's so important to know how to slow down the down waves. If you slow down the down waves and are able to take advantage of the up waves, that's when I've really seen that you can really expand yourself and call yourself that real profitable trader, because what you're doing there is controlling the down waves and taking advantage of the up waves.
I can tell you, Mitch, Mark Minervini agrees. He said that this is probably the most important factor to his trading, is knowing when to push it and knowing when to slow down. So
hell yeah, I agree with that. It's so important, man. I say it all the time. I just refer to it as brake and gas, and you got to know what you're at.
Right,
I'll
folks.
tell you guys, if you're not at that point yet, though, you should probably never be pushing the gas. Just learn how to make a buck first. Learn how to consistently make $10 first. Don't try to start. And I'm not telling you guys, how to trade or whatever, how to manage your money. You got to do that yourself. But just find that consistency. Even if you're paper trading, learn how to lock in little bits of consistency along the way. My grandpa said, if you can make a buck, Andy, make a buck. And that stuck with me.
That's why I like one share trading for you beginners out there. Even one share.
Learn the process first.
One contract, one share, exactly.
And what it's going to do is just limit the downside, pay attention to the percentage, and focus on that. Maybe it's 2 shares because you want to practice sizing out or sizing in. Okay, that's fine. But you're limiting the damage, but still playing with real money That's a good way to go about it. And if you want to play with bigger size and get used to that, then you can do the paper trading, but always understand that you're not having the skin in the game, so the emotions won't be the same. And so that's why I recommend more of the one share trading style.
Guys, I've got a meeting coming up here at 11. I'm going to get going here. Really appreciate Andy stopping by. Andy, we got to have you back here some more. Have a good one. Stay green, and we will see you around the bend.
Thanks, Ryan. Right. It's a lot of fun. Thanks for having me on too.
Yep, no problem.
All right, we'll get Ryan on out of here. I'll put him in the background. I still got Andy here, so I'm going to keep going here. Zunaid should be joining us shortly here, as he will be doing an interview coming on up at 11:15, I believe, and Zunaid will correct me if I'm wrong, probably. But 11:15 is when we should have HTGM here. So we're going to go into 11 here with live trading. Then I'm going to go ahead and transition us. But if you want to wrap up anything, Andy, you're more than welcome to. Screen's yours, my friend.
Well, basically, I'm just looking here. We're trying to figure out with Tesla popping up just a little bit up at the highs. We're looking at the SPY's possible rejection. Then I just noticed, I look over and Netflix is just still hanging out there. It's not even really moving. Just stuck.
It's stuck.
And
yeah.
It's giving me this feeling that maybe we could have something a little later. This is one of those days where sometimes we just got to wait it out. We got to wait for that intraday capitulation. Let the day choose a direction before we start playing around. And before that happens, it's almost a free for all. I call it whack-a-mole. I said earlier, you just might not want to get into this type of garbage to chop. But once we find that direction, the SPY has been like a freight train, man. It just nonstop, and it just keeps pushing. Anybody trying to trade against the trend in that case, you're not going to make it out alive.
Yeah, that's what I think this market's all about. It's timing when those breakouts are happening on the overall market. Because why? Because stocks are often getting correlated closer to 1 right now. What does that mean? That it's moving with the overall market. And if the overall market is moving in the direction, even if you have the best setup, it can go ahead and knock that down.
As far as like penny movers and anything like that, I just see nothing. And I don't, I need to see some real strength and something like that before I even trade it these days. I used to just hop in for fun because I was more of doing research rather than trying to make money, Mitch. I wanted to know how price worked and how it would act against this and that. Whenever I go short, go long, and whatever I was doing. And I got to gain a lot of experience that's helped me a lot now by messing around, but I don't need to mess around no more.
I think that's important. And I think it's also important to not just try to take one strategy and be like, well, this is going to be my strategy, right? And do your research, look at tickers, and look at trading sometimes while not actually trading is so important too, because you're always looking to make a trade. Your eyes are very different than when you're coming in a just let me just see approach. And I think that's important also for traders to get into that just let me see approach, because things change all the time. Here we go for the high of the day on Tesla. If that does happen, then at least my outlook is just going to continue, right? And so the Qs, I was talking about them coming back to VWAP, and then they would get around there on the break and actually a little bit faster. Qs are starting to lead us up a little bit there. Now you're seeing that 790.99 there. Let's see if we get to the 791, start pushing through there on Tesla, and then see the Qs coming back there. That can help my trade here. We'll see what happens there if we get that next lift or not.
So I'm assuming this is over here at 11, Mitch?
Yeah, well, we're going to continue on the stream, but we're going to wrap up on the live trading action. So I'll get you on out of here in a second or two.
All right. So one question before I get out of here, if you have time for this.
Let's do it.
Do you look at the Qs in relation to the SPY? Because one thing I'm looking for is if the Qs is lagging slightly, or if the SPY is lagging, looking who's trapping the shorts, who's trapping the longs, and their relation to each other. And when we have a big, when we're diverging like that, I look for us to balance that out a little later,
Yeah, I like that approach too. And one thing that I like doing on that is when I look at the SPY and the Qs, often I'm looking which one's leading, which one's lagging, and also what stocks are moving. Because if tech's leading the rally, why am I staring at the SPY? I'm going to go ahead and stare at the Qs. But if some different stocks are leading the rally, and you'll know that because of my sector outlook, right? If I say healthcare, consumer cyclicals leading maybe, yeah, this is when you want to maybe watch a little bit more of the SPY, right? But if you're looking at a day where technology is at the top or technology is at the bottom, weakest, those are the days that I like to pay attention more on the Qs. And we all know how technology stocks kind of essentially lead the market. I mean, it's majority of the SPY anyways. So I have a tendency of trying to look also in different time frames. Look at the SPY on an hourly, and then look at the Qs in a different time frame to see if you're getting that positive confirmation or there's a divergence or not. And it's going to take different roles. Sometimes the SPY is leading us, I feel, and then sometimes the Qs will lead. And a lot of that's depending on technology. Technology today is what kind of sideways action, really. It's down about 0.09 from the open, overall 0.05. So in between. So a day like today, maybe the Qs aren't leading us, at least for right now. And you want to see what happens in the SPY first to see if you're going to get that next lift up through the 395s. But they're really similar right now, at least if you say the Qs and the SPY, they're kind of right off the VWAP.
Right. Well, I really appreciate you guys having me. Thanks so much. Born to be Free, Beach Bum, everybody, for all your positive words and everything. You guys rock.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I will see you guys next time. Maybe I'll see
later,
you
Andy.
No, I'm kidding.
Have a good one, man. Appreciate you. All right, definitely, guys. Check out Mighty Shoulders Trades and check that on out. In a few seconds, I'll have Zunaid join me back up. Why are you still muted, my friend? I don't know what happened there.
StreamYard works well because I jammed the music. I want to interrupt y'all.
There
But hey,
go,
you know
you
if
go.
StreamYard works on Safari?
Check this out. On Safari, honestly, I've never used Safari. I think it's one of the ones that it struggles with. Way better on Internet Explorer and Google Chrome. So if they're having issues, maybe they need to use a different browser.
Yeah.
I can check to see what StreamYard would say about that, but I think it should work on all browsers. But I've heard that some browsers have some issue, and I'll tell you right now, I never use Firefox.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever used Firefox in my life.
I think I used it when I was like in high school or something like that. But
yeah, I just stuck to the good old Google.
Let's see.
Do you remember there was like ask.com or something like that?
Ask Jeeves, I think it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, Ask Jeeves.
Right, Ask
Back
Jeeves.
in the day.
Yeah, taking a look at a couple of different things here. You've got the SPY, and of course, we will have that interview as well, so we'll keep an eye on that. But you've got Apple here. I'm looking at Apple, trying to play it possibly. I'm not going to because I'll have the interview coming up, and I can't focus on it. But if I were to, I'd try to get puts, and a stop loss would be right 30 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents stop loss, 153.55 break. I would go ahead and get out on Apple as it's flirting with the VWAP right there.
All right, let me take care of some things while you take a quick look at this market. I'm going to try to have you ready for your interview here.
Sure. Yeah, do we have an intro, like a special one? I'll wait till you come back. All right, going to try to multitask here, so just bear with the silence. But we've got Apple, again, trying to flirt with the VWAP. We'll see what it does. You've got SPY trying to get above the previous close. We know that that can sometimes be resistance, especially as it got the whole number of 395 there. We'll see what that price action looks like. But the Qs are well above it. Qs are looking to go towards 304 and break that as well. Yeah, I prefer Google over any of the other ones, but we'll see. What's up?
I'm getting it ready there. Trying to get a banner for us ready when he comes on here. Boom, got it. All right, and I'm going to actually change our branding here. Let's go back to this right here.
Awesome.
There we go. Perfect.
Perfect. We'll get John up here in a couple of minutes, so just hang tight with us. But yeah, I mean, just kind of looking at the sector though. Look, I mean, what's interesting is you remember when Trump got COVID? It was overnight type situation when we found out about it. So the futures took a dip, but we didn't hurt in the market to the downside as much. We came back up, and that was kind of good to see. And then, of course, now you can see with Biden getting COVID, took a little bit of a dip, but the market has rallied right back almost to the levels. And now we're looking to go green on the SPY from red here, trying to cross the 395. And of course, the Qs already are trying to make a push above 304. You see anything here before we get going, Mitch? Any last thoughts from you?
No, well, I'm watching Tesla break through the highs. I've talked about that level. I think from now, as Tesla can continue breaking through, you probably will see the Qs kind of follow that. I'm still long on my Fisker trade here. I have an average of 997.6. So let's see if this can continue going up. I'm going to look to sell it above 1010s, looking for a push towards 1020. Of course, I want to see Tesla continuing to push, and then we'll see if that kind of continues to make that move. Now let's go ahead and at least preface what's coming on up. So I'll go ahead and I can put the thumbnail here. You explain to us what's coming on up, Zunaid.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got John, who is the president and CEO of HTG Molecular Diagnostics, hanging out with us today. When we do these type of interviews, the main focus that I like to have is what is the company doing in today? What has it kind of done in the past? And of course, what can investors expect in the future as well? And that's the type of conversation we'll be having. They've been a little bit of a hot ticker and social media as well. But our main focus is the fundamentals of the company, the financial health of the company, and what investors can expect as well. So if you guys have any questions in the chat, feel free to kind of bring them up. I will do my best to go ahead and ask John about that as well. But it's always nice to kind of give the retail investor, the retail trader, a little bit of insight from publicly traded companies and the CEOs themselves, Mitch.
Definitely agree with that. And I think this is a great day to have him on, as if you look at the industries out there, what is leading, right? The sectors first is healthcare. And if you look at the industries, what's leading up today? Diagnostic and research stocks. That's the industry leading about 3.83% there for healthcare, leading the sector. So I think this is a great day to dive in a little bit deeper into the industry on diagnostics and research. So that's going to be coming on up. We'll get towards that in just a few minutes. I think we might go a little bit earlier. I see John ready. Probably we can go ahead and start diving in.
John, if you give us the thumbs up, if you give us a thumbs up, we know that you're ready. I see the thumbs up.
Oh, he's ready to go. You know what this means?
What's up?
I'm going to the background. I'm letting Zunaid take lead here. You go ahead and do your thing, man, and
we will do it. I appreciate it. Well, without further ado, let me go ahead and bring John up here. John, what is going on? Again, John is the president and CEO of HTG Molecular Diagnostics. John, really appreciate you coming to hang out with us here today.
Hey, Zunaid, appreciate the opportunity to talk about the company.
Absolutely. Well, hey, look, I like to kind of, with our viewers and with myself as well, I like to go with the common saying of explain it to me like I'm 5. So if you could quickly, just briefly give us an idea of what it is that your company does.
Yeah, we're a tech-based, really a biotech, basically platform-based. We've got a proprietary RNA chemistry. We also have a proprietary medicinal chemistry platform, and we're really using them in 2 particular applications. 1, to build better drug candidates for clinical development, and then 2, to pair those drug candidates with the right diagnostics so that we can get the right drug to the right patient. Kind of the essence of precision medicine.
Got it. And then are there anything in particular right now that you're currently working on that our viewers should know about?
Yeah, we've actually got our first drug candidate in development. So we've identified our first target. We've actually built our first library. We're putting this through our engine internally. We call it Merlin, where we actually use about 20,000 genes that we look at to actually measure the effectiveness and potency of those potential drugs. And we also look at potential off-target effects that we may want to dial out. And the objective here is to deliver to a potential partner a greatly de-risked drug candidate for clinical development. And we will expect to have actually our first asset available for partnership conversations by the end of the year.
Perfect. Because one of my questions I was going to ask you was how long it really takes to go from, hey, here's where we are on that stage to the end as well. So end of the year is what we're kind of focusing on. Are you working on like multiple things at the same time? Or is it like, hey, we're focused on this diagnostic, this particular, scenario to deliver at the end of the year, then we focus on the next one? Like, are there multiple projects going on right now for y'all?
Yeah. So the first thing we're doing is building the engine. So we've kind of brought key stakeholders with us through the production of 2 white papers to date. The first was kind of a proof of an approach white paper, because the first thesis was, can we actually measure biologically what's happening with very, very small changes in a chemical structure? And that's what white paper number 1 did. Took a model system called mTOR and looked at that, and to our, I wouldn't say we were surprised, but we were delighted at the resolution that we were able to see in regards to the tool we've built. The next white paper that just came out at the end of June was now using that same approach, but now with our target, what we call HTGT1, for our first indication with our own library. So that will then proceed. This first target actually has 2 indications. So when I mentioned we expect to be on market, if you will, with licensing conversations, that would be for indication number 1. And then we'll be, the second indication will be ready to basically open up partnership conversations in Q1 next year. And then we've got another target immediately following that. That's probably 1 to 2 quarters behind this first target. And it's got a much, much larger intended use population. And whereas these first 2 targets are both in oncology, which is kind of the lineage of the company, the next target is actually outside of oncology, because one of the exciting things about this platform we've built is it's a disease agnostic platform. We believe we can use this really across all of the biopharma space.
Got it. Yeah, and I know you also went and briefly touched on, but you also got a second white paper that was recently released as well, right? Any quick insight on that end?
Yeah, that one is where we actually we took a look at, as I mentioned, for our target, which is an RNA modified protein target. We then looked at, we then constructed using our chemistry platform, our library, and we were able to see literally with just incredibly small structural changes, pretty significant differences in biology. And that's really the core of this is 90% of drugs fail in clinical development because of either potency or toxicity. And what we're trying to do is to actually pull forward that biologic learning into a model system where we can actually look at 20,000 genes, what's going on, and take a look at the pathway analysis, and then use that information to redesign the molecule. So it's still cheaper. You've got a lot more levers to pull. And then when you finally do move that product into, first in human and into clinical trials, it's greatly de-risked and it's got a much higher probability of getting through to the other end than 10%, which is the current batting average today.
Got it. Now, look, all of this stuff obviously is not cheap, right? It costs a lot of money with R&D and everything else that you're doing. So can you tell me a little bit more about the financial health of the company as you're investing in these products and situations?
Yeah, I actually started looking at this whole drug discovery space over 2 years ago. And there was a lot of, we needed to prove ourselves in regards to technology capability. And so we kept it behind the curtain, kept it in stealth. And it was only when I felt very comfortable and very confident that our technology can actually do this that we kind of went public with it. The great part about working where we are, which is really at that hit the lead stage in drug discovery, is it's very economical. And because these technologies that we're using are captive and proprietary to HTG, they do not, great, thanks for pulling it up. So as you can see, we actually pick up the process at a novel but validated target. And then what we'll do is we'll build the library to that. And part of the advanced chemistry platform we have, for example, for our first target, we looked at a universe of 35 billion potential chemical structures. We ran it through a series of essentially supercomputing algorithms, and we got it down to just 250 compounds. Well, that doesn't cost a lot to make. That's about $30,000. And then because the screening technology is internal, it costs us tens of dollars, not thousands of dollars to run this.
Yeah.
So this is an incredibly capital efficient process that we're running. And the year to date, we haven't even spent $1 million on this, and we're extremely excited about our potential to be highly disruptive in developing lead candidates that are going to have a lot better probability of not suffering the current attrition that you see in today's pharma clinical development.
Yeah. Maybe I can learn a thing or two about budgeting from you guys. If you're doing all these big things and you haven't even spent $1 million yet year to date, but you've got an event coming up on July 27th, right? Can you tell us a little bit about what investors can expect from that, or is that just kind of like a routine conference that you're kind of taking part in?
Now, part of putting this whole thing together was bringing together an advisory board of KOLs, because there's a lot of really smart people out there, and the best way to become smart is to hang around a lot of smart people. And so what we've done with our ad board is, the 27th is going to kind of walk people through the Merlin platform that I talked about, which is this transcriptomically informed chemistry. And then we'll walk through the data, because data is kind of the coin of the realm in regards to what we can actually show from the first white paper. And then we're super excited to have Dr. Robert Spitali, who's the Associate Dean of Research from UC Irvine, who's a leading RNA chemist. And he's going to share his views on how the analysis of RNA can be highly complementary and disruptive to drug discovery. So this will be the first, and we expect to have a follow-on KOL event probably after Labor Day.
Okay, got it. Appreciate that. Now, when it comes to, you already talked about the end of the year, we're hoping to have the first asset ready to go. What are you kind of hoping to achieve, if not more, say 12 months from now? So 6 months away, that's the first thing. But investors typically are looking to have a stock in their portfolio for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years out. What are like the long-term goals you're hoping to accomplish to where you're like, you know what, we did it?
Yeah, I think one, and we're in the process of doing it, the engine's just about built. So once we have the engine built, it's simply a matter of the strength of our balance sheet. How many trains do we want to run on the tracks? And right now we're planning to run 2 at a time. So in a year from now, and thanks for pulling this up, I publish a milestone calendar for our investors so that you can keep track of how we're doing. Are we doing what we say, and are we saying what we do? And through the first half, and our earnings call is the 11th next month, we'll announce that we've achieved all 5 of our Q1 or H1 milestones, and we remain on track to hit the remaining milestones for the year. So in a year from now, if looking into my crystal ball, I'd like to say the company has licensed our first 2 assets. We've proven that our technology platform works. And we've got a strong pipeline of follow-on candidates coming out. And again, these type of deals, and why we've kind of pivoted and adapted into drug discovery, in addition to being a life science tools and diagnostic company, is because of the way the deal structures are. Typically, these come in with upfronts that are in the 10, 15, $20 million, and that is beautiful non-dilutive financing for us, so that we can focus on building shareholder value, and begin to build almost a waterfall chart of both revenue and valuation for the company.
Got it. And you mentioned you kind of started looking at this part of the business about a couple of years ago. Now, look, whether it's personal relationships, whether it's investors or anyone else in life, there are often misunderstandings that happen. What do you feel like is the biggest misunderstanding when it comes to your company from outside individuals looking at your company?
Yeah, well, the company went public in 2015, and I'm sure you've never heard this before, but I think it was too early. And the original thesis was we were going to develop diagnostics on the strength of pharma collaborations. And from 2015 to actually when I took the job over in 19, we actually did 4 pharma collaborations, where these were, pharma had a drug in phase 2. And in most cases, they knew they needed a molecular signature, which is what our core technology does, to pick out responders from non-responders. And so in 3 of those, they were part of our QIAGEN Precision Diagnostic Partnership. And they were all 4 were top 10 pharma. 3 of the 4 were top 5 pharma. However, in all 4 cases, at the end of the day, when they looked at the clinical endpoint, the drugs failed to reach their clinical endpoint. And so that was deeply frustrating for us, because we, at that point in time, we were booking, $20 million of revenue per year. But we were a bit held hostage to whether or not the drug was going to work. And that was frustrating. And that got me really looking and peeling the onion on this, saying, why wait so late into the process to try to figure out whether the biology of your drug's going to work? Why not do it earlier? So instead of waiting, doing it in clinical development when you don't have very many levers to pull, the only thing you can really do is dosing and patient selection. Why not why not use our technology earlier while you're still designing the molecule? And that was what really, led me to start pulling on that string. And luckily, I've got 2 board members that are biotech board members, and they were able to connect me with, again, a lot of smart people. And then subsequently, we're now changing the complexion of our board to also bring in more biotech. So, the whole idea here is let's build a better drug candidate. And then also let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. We're still going to retain rights for the companion diagnostic. But now because we've de-risked it, we've got a much better chance of getting both the drug and a diagnostic on market than if we continue to play the game the way we were playing it in 2017, 2018.
Got it. Now, hey, look, I don't blame you for thinking that, maybe you came on a little bit too early into the public markets, but it's all about how you adjust, because you have to be agile with the markets and everything else that you're doing in your business as well. And I just wanted to confirm one thing from my notes here. August 11th, that's when your earnings are. Is that confirmed?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, perfect. That way we know when to reach out and bombard your email again. But, we got only about a minute here with you. Was there anything that you were kind of hoping to tell the viewers at home regarding your company? Were there any catalysts that you feel like investors can possibly look forward to, especially shareholders as well? The floor is kind of all yours here.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, well, I think one of the jokes we always kind of make is, we're out in Tucson, Arizona, and, if we're not at the edge of the universe, you can probably see it from here. I think if we were in Boston, we'd be a lot better known. I used to work, in Cambridge. Same thing if we were in San Francisco. I think we're a deep value stock. I mean, the markets that we're serving in drug discovery, it's an $800 billion market that's going to be growing to $1 trillion in 4 years. The precision diagnostic market is $25 billion, growing to $50 billion over the same time horizon. I think we've got a highly disruptive technology, and that's one of the things we look for. Where can you apply a proven and robust technology where there's real and substantial needs? And drug candidate attrition is a big one, and as is getting the right drugs to the right patients, because then you can design your clinical trials to be far more cost effective, and you can implement them with a smaller N, which is really important, because then you can get expedited approval from FDA. So we think it's a great kind of hybrid package of leveraging our expertise in RNA. And if you take a look at our current market cap and you look at the opportunities in front of us, I think we're a very, very, very deep value stock. And I've been able to assemble a team. You're showing the video right here. The folks that are doing our drug discovery efforts, and maybe this was a good part about COVID. We're virtual. They're ex J&J guys. They're ex Abbott guys. We've been able to pull people, and we don't have to be in Tucson. So we operate, kind of virtually, and we're able to move very, very quickly, as you're mentioning. So, I think the next 12 and 18 months are going to be very exciting for HTG.
Well, I know you've got an event coming up on the 27th, and then we've got the earnings to look forward to on the 11th of August as well. That is John, President and CEO of HTG Molecular Diagnostics. John, thank you once again for taking time out to talk to us, and I really do hope we can have this conversation here soon.
Great. Hey, thank you. Thanks a lot, and you guys have a great day.
Take care, John. Appreciate it. And let me remove you here. And I do want to give a big shout out to Mitch as well. He is the man behind the screens, making sure the slides are up, the videos are going on as well. So appreciate Mitch for staying late. What's up, buddy? Hey, that was clutch, man.
Yeah, of course. Always here to try to help out, right? I think it's important to try to get some of the visuals. Also, you got a summary there. I thought that was definitely important. And I think an important thing that you're seeing there mentioned by John is pulling on the levers. I think that's such a smart thing when you hear CEOs talk about that, right? And having multiple levers versus only having one. I think it's a very important thing that he's mentioning there, and how they're trying to continue the growth, right? It's the molecular and the therapeutic side. You got to continue to watch what happens with this stock. Of course, we'll see. And always it's important to get the story, right? You can see the confidence there in John, and also mentions there that they're spending very little to bring in a very high growth outlook here approach. And so I think that's an important thing to note there from the interview. Good interviews, Zunaid. I like the questions.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's definitely fun, especially kind of talking to companies that we've not necessarily heard of 2 months ago, 3 months ago, right? Because those are the type of value investing that you're kind of looking for, to see, hey, where are they a little bit undervalued at the stock price, fundamentals, different things like that. But hopefully the viewers that kind of hung out with us, they got a chance to hear and see if it's a good investment for them. But let's go ahead and quickly, if you want, take a look at the markets. Then we've got what? We got to turn it over at 11:30. Is that right?
Yeah, we'll turn it over at 11:30. Now, one thing I do want to state, and
What's up?
I'll take a quick look at the technicals of HTGM, right? And so
Please,
what I would
yeah.
point out is there's a 50% and a 61.8% retracement here that's holding pretty well on the daily outlook. Of course, the stock has made a big boom up there to $2, now pulling back, and it's holding in between the 61.8 and the 50%. And so once it gets out of this range is where I would be looking for upside move. But like always, it's up for you guys to determine if this is an investment you want to take an outlook. But at least technically wise on the daily, it's holding up pretty well here. We'll see what happens in HTGM. Of course, we'll keep an eye on it in live trading. We'll see if it takes another leg or not.
Yeah, especially with the event that's coming up on the 27th. And we'll definitely, I'm going to circle and see if Zoltan and I can cook something up for the earnings as well. Maybe we can have them back. But what you got here on SPY?
Let's take a quick look, right? I mean, we were looking like we wanted to come back up there. Tesla was trying to get through the highs there. It did get through the high, but then, of course, started slowing down there at the 791. So we'll see if it continue making moves. The Qs were really kind of leading us up. It's still holding VWAP there, but SPY is also holding VWAP. It's right off of there. It's a little bit of a chop zone. I don't know if you see anything out there, Zunaid, right now, but it's still looking like we're in a little bit of some chop in the market.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned that I was here. Let me go ahead and share my screen again since we've got about 5 minutes. There we go. Sorry, I just got an email from John, so I was paying attention to that. But taking a look at, it's always interesting. It's like, oh man, did the CEO think it went okay? What happened? Am I going to get an email from PR later on? But anyway, taking a look at Apple. Look, it can't get above VWAP. Let me go ahead and put my screens up here for a moment. There we go. Trying to see if it can get over. I am going to go short here. I'm going to go short via puts here. I'm going to go ahead and grab the 152.50 puts expiring this week. Went ahead and grabbed it at 97 cents. We'll see, though. If it goes ahead and cracks above this 153.55, gets to that 153.60 area, I will be out. But I would love for it to go back from red to green and maybe even try to test the lows here. But the only thing that's kind of got me a little concerned about my puts is the fact that SPY is above VWAP. So it's already accomplished that scenario. It's not quite over red to green. So I've got a little bit of a hopium on that side. Of course, Qs are well above as well. Can't get it past the 304. That's been the area that's been a little bit of a trouble. Went above the 10-minute candle, then it pulled right back, and it's been having issues since as well. So kind of interesting. Qs above VWAP, SPY above VWAP, Apple is below, and that's where I'm looking to go short with a little bit of hopium. Tesla, though, $8 away from 800. That 800 is kind of like a magnet, man.
Yeah, I'm looking for that magnet to hit so that I can keep my Fisker trade on. It's still on right now. Got back in this after making some gains earlier in the day, looking for it to get back up above the 10 and maybe close up there above the 1020s. But it's going to take a lot of the Qs also coming through there, and we'll see if we can get that push or not, right? We did get negative news in Microsoft today, so maybe look to see if you get Microsoft back into the green. That could be a good sign for us because negative catalyst should have knocked the stock down. But if you see the stock going into the green, hey, it might carry the text names to continue pushing forward. But we can start wrapping up here in about a minute or two. If there's any stock that got your eyes today in the chat, definitely throw it up there. We'll try to touch it before we get on out of here. Like always, we'll continue battling and bringing on new guests. Today, we brought on a trader from the chat. So if you guys in the chat, you guys are doing great, or maybe you just have a specific trade you want to talk about, hey, reach out to us. We're more than willing to bring you on, just like we brought on Andy today, and trying to do some more special guest interviews later in the stream like we did today with John.
I thought I had put my 65 EMA, which was lining up right near VWAP as well. I really thought I had that. Maybe not. I know it's weird on TradingView because sometimes like I'll see my EMAs, but then depending on like if I go on different time frames, I won't see it. I was also testing out the 15 seconds. I mean, for my dopamine, this 15 seconds is wild.
There's a nice push in Fisker. Now we're up to 10:04s. Let's see if that continues to push. Trying to get frisky with the Fisker.
All right, relax. It's not past midnight yet.
Well, I mean, just trying to get frisky. Fisker, I think it matches.
Oh, it definitely matches. I just meant after dark.
What can I say? I want to get out to the ocean. The ocean's their vehicle that's coming out, Zunaid. I don't know if you've ever taken a look at it. It's pretty
What
dope,
I did
man.
take a look at was Homeboy, and the origin is simply that it's someone who is from their hood, or
Did you
from
see?
like
I
their
actually got
neighborhood.
Zunaid worry about that. He was
Well,
like,
yeah,
"Man, am
'cause
I
I was
really
like-
going to lose my job
Well,
here?"
because I've said Homeboy on like the NBA stream, I've said Homeboy here, and no one said Jack, to me, and I'm like, I'm
It
pretty
just
sure
means
it's okay.
it just means friend from your hometown.
Yeah, well,
That's
I mean,
all
look,
it is.
Yeah, look.
I guess
who
everybody's
did I
from
refer-
Zunaid's hometown.
Who did I refer to Homeboy as earlier today? Who was it?
It was Spackman.
It was Ackman. It was Ackman. It was Bill.
Yeah,
Ackman.
I call him
Yeah.
Spackman.
Oh, okay, yeah. Look, he's got millions. I've got hundreds. So like we from the same town. Or he's
We
got
good.
billions, excuse me. But whatever. A couple of zeros here and there. What's the big deal?
Everything is frisky to Mitch. Come on, boys. Freshly married. Come on, you know it.
Well, he's sending us to AB now.
Yeah, we're gonna go on over to AB. Let's get on over to Benzinga Live with none other than AB. Let us know if you guys enjoyed today's stream. We changed it on up a little bit, so hit us up in the comments. Tell us what you guys think, and we'll see you a little bit later today. I'll be on Stock Market Movers at 1 p.m. and then later in the day we will have At the Close at 3:30. Let's keep going with the shows, and like always, keep working at it. Appreciate you, Zunaid, for doing that interview for us today.
I appreciate you producing in the back, man. Talk to you tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Friday? Oh, we have got All Access tomorrow.
All Access tomorrow with my man Zunaid, so don't miss that. And definitely smash the like before you get on out of here, guys. We'll see you next time.
See you.